Hey, Skipperlings! It's your boy, SkipperWing Bird, trying out for a new skip stream. Sorry, I haven't been doing these for a while because this weekend kind of kicked my butt. Oh wow, now's the perfect time to get sick, isn't it? Anywho, it's time for a stream, so I'm gonna do my normal thing and let the masses know I'm alive and streaming, and then we're gonna get this party started. All right. Also, it is if you notice, we have now reached 250 followers, which means that we have reached our follower goal. I don't know why it says 249, but apparently we've reached 250. So, woohoo! That means that well, actually, I'm gonna wait for it to coalesce and see what it actually is, and then we will go up from there. As you know, the follower goal basically entails a giveaway. Let me refresh my memory, see what the giveaway is for followers. Timers, social, Discord, donation goal. Okay, so the donation goal is a looping gift giveaway. The bit goal is a sketch giveaway. So that means that the follower goal is a black and white giveaway. Cool? Cool. So you guys have seen my sketches. If not, you can check out my Instagram for what they look like. And that will be basically when somebody will receive in a giveaway. I need to confirm specifically that I do have 250 followers because my obviously, as you can see, Streamlabs is saying 249. But yeah, we'll see in a hot minute, guys. So yeah, first let me do the thing, and then we'll get this party started. Also, if you're part of the co-host crew, please feel free to join the voice chat. Somebody's making noise. Twitter. Whoa, happy noises. Melly Bear, thank you for the auto host. Or is it's actually the direct host. Either way, thank you, and much appreciated. Alright, time to get back to work. Alright, so let's see what we were working on. We weren't actually working on anything. It's been a while since we've done a strip. Mostly because it's been a week, and that's been a giant pain in my butt. So let me go to Streamlabs chatbot and let me do the song that I like to start these things off with. So first, let me turn on my face, because my face is kind of important. It's kind of a big deal. Hello everybody, it's your boss, Colin SkipperWing Bird, back to you live with another new skip stream. We apparently have reached 250 followers, or so it says, back in 2. Thank you for being number 250. I hope, I'm not sure, because it's weird, the timer, the editor says it's 249, but Twitch says 250, so we will see. I'll just check that. Oh, it says changelog we've made with the changelog page. Cool, I will check that out later. But for now, let us go to the pre-production folder, open the sketch folder, work files, template, and cool, there's our template. Let us turn down our music, put that on pause, put on our working playlist. Cool, that's getting started. Also, let's put on a timer, mostly because I can't really afford to be working for several hours straight. I really wish there was a timer app widget for Streamlabs chatbot, but it is what it is. So let's go to 25 minutes and get this party started. Alright, so let's see. Actually, because I didn't really think this up very well. So let's open up the Wacom tablet properties, because I need to turn on in Windows Ink for a hot minute. So turn that on, calibrate Windows Ink. I normally have Windows Ink turned off because I don't usually like to have it conflicting with the Wacom drivers, and it really tends to, which is kind of annoying. But it be what it be. So let's open up OneNote, because I need to do some brainstorming really quickly, guys. You can't see it, OneNote's loading on the upper screen, so we're going to drag it down to the bottom screen in a hot minute. Alright, so let's go to the Crimson Fly. Flybits. So let's add a Keyshow 10 Kets page. Yeah. Normally I would only have I'd do this in Excel, but I'm on stream and I kind of want to brainstorm with you guys. So the big keyword is criminal. So we have our key show 10 Kets. Key introduction, basically introduce our key theme, show, build up, well actually it's called the development, actually we can use build up, 10, which is basically our twist, and ketsu, which is our conclusion. So criminal, which is basically, right, I don't know the hotkeys for this, so we're just going to have to use the main thing. Also, let's randomize our music, because I don't really want this to play the same song over and over. There we go. So, our theme is so if you've been following the Crimson Fly for a little bit, or Flybits anyway, you'll notice that there's a character that that the Crimson Fly always seems to be beating up on, which is Jim the Criminal. I have a text file for his description, but basically he's my main punching bag for Crimson Fly strips. So yeah, we're gonna talk about him. Introduction. Well, actually, what we're gonna do is our twist. Twist first, because if you don't know where your goal is, then you can't really So Introduction. Jim. Build up. Twist. Conclusion. That's not quite what I want to do, but this is pretty good idea as to what I want to do. So let me see. We want to break that down a little bit more. So let's break down the key, because we want to break those down into their own sort of Kisho Tenketsus. Basically, just make this into a little 4-panel start. So, and hopefully, this will become a little bit more fleshed out and more coherent as we go through the week. So, introduction. And the twist for this one's going to be Ketsu. Let's see, for the Ketsu for this one, we're gonna have, so Copper John interrupts Jen's petty attempt. I'll throw a little bit extra on here. So let's see, Jim's planning something petty. Alright, I think we have our 5. So hopefully this all makes a little bit of sense. So the key is basically Jim is planning something petty while grumbling about the Crimson Fly always stopping him. Then he starts to make his move, anxious that the Fly is going to intervene. The twist is that it's not the Fly that intervened, but Copper John. And John intervenes by not actually beating him up because he's a police officer, but just stopping him and warning him not to try anything. Jim muses about how lucky he was not to get in trouble, but the twist is that the Crimson Fly was watching the entire time. And just didn't do anything because nothing bad had happened yet. So we're going to move that up to my top screen on one side. And we're going to start working on this. So hopefully this all makes sense. So what's our keyword? I can't really move it. I'd have to need a fingerprint to see it, so. Did we make a keyword for this? Oh, that's a cool thing I didn't know you could do. Let's bring this back down here so I can see this for a hot minute. Actually, we're gonna make a keyword for this plot. That's gonna be our keyword. All right. Wrong layer again. I need this to stop being a running gag at the start of every stream. So as you can see, I'm just thumbnailing things out right now. Yeah, wrong brush tool. So let's deselect that. Muma the Troller writes greetings. Hey Muma, welcome to the Skip stream. How are you doing tonight? Which seems to be a catchphrase of mine when it comes to you. There's gonna be a... This one's gonna be stupid complicated. And we're not gonna throw the POV from the Fly's perspective. We're gonna throw it from Jim's perspective instead. If we throw it from the Fly's perspective, that throws off what we're going for, which is staying behind Jim's perspective. So we're gonna have to do a lot of erasing and redrawing of this thumbnail before we're all set. The back of my spine. Also, Whimsy writes, hi. Hey, Whimsy, welcome to the Skip stream. How are you doing tonight? That's going to be my intro for everybody. So, hey, everybody, welcome to the Skip stream. How are you doing tonight? we're gonna actually crunch this down just a little bit. So we can give this a little bit more space. Hello!
Yo.
Hey! How goes it? It actually is Jiggy. I'm gonna check. This time I'm gonna check.
You're gonna check? It is me. Duh.
Well, no. There was the running gag of, hey, Jiggy. I'm not Jiggy.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I know. I know. The Jiggies.
Meanwhile, Moo the Troller writes, doing good. Just finished taking out the trash. I also want to thank you for advice you gave me on choosing by either a Wacom Cintiq Surface or Surface Pro. Cool beans! Well, I'm glad I can help. I kind of want to go into more detail with that, but first, Jiggy, you gotta cut a promo.
Oh, what is up, my little skipperlings? It is Jiggy Art. You can find me at facebook.com/JiggyArt, and you can find me at twitch.tv/JiggyArt. How y'all doing this evening?
Hey, there we go. I like that. I like that. I'm feeling that.
Yeah. Well, I literally, like, been running around, like, all day. I'm like, oh, I get to sit for, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was not my day. Which is weird because it both was and was not my day. Like,
right.
Like, I had to, because today, actually, I had to play catch-up. So Friday's update didn't go out. Neither did the Instagram illustration, because for some reason I was just not having it that Friday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw those notices. I was like, yeah, I feel that.
And so I ended up not doing the Friday illustration, which is what I did today, which is the Nakia post. And actually, today's illustration I haven't done either, which is what I should probably be working on if I didn't feel the need to stay on top of the comic. Which would probably be Luigi's Balloon World, because I am loving that minigame in Mario Odyssey. If we finish early, I might actually show it off for you guys.
Nice. Yeah, I know I'm going live in about a half hour, so it's like I have to finish up the write-up for Galacticon this past weekend, and...
Yeah, I want to know how that went.
Oh, it went really well.
That's good.
Oh, hey Muma! Yes, thank you. No, it was really good. It's the usual. It's a smaller con, like it's held in a high school gym, but it's pretty big for a high school gym, not gonna lie.
That's good.
I forgot how many years it's been, but they run a good family con. Like, it's family friendly, and it's awesome because it's a lot of preteen/teenagers going, and they're all in cosplay. And it's funny because I have some not older anime, but like I have a few illustrations like from Sailor Moon, and if they even watch it, like, you know, Black Butler. And
I guarantee they watch it.
Oh yeah. Well, they came out like, oh, Black Butler. I'm like, you were like 10 when this came out.
It didn't stop a lot of people.
I know, but the Sailor Moon one's pretty cool because that just shows the longevity of some franchises, and it was just cool overall. Made some new friends. Some of Kata Kane's friends were there, who I met.
Nice.
So, and one of them came from Virginia. I was like, oh my god, because we were up in Delaware.
That's not. I mean, if you're gonna come up from Maryland, you're probably Virginia's not that much longer.
She said where she is in Virginia, it's like a 3-hour drive.
I could still shake that. I can see that shaking that. But you don't, as long as you're traveling with somebody else. Well,
I don't know if she came with somebody else, because the person she was tabling with, Kat's other friend, she's from Jersey. So, and she came from Newark, so apparently Newark to where we were is like only a 40-minute drive. Like, it's not that far. But like, even where I live, it was only an hour and 10 minutes. And even then it was an easy drive. It's all highway until like the last couple of turns when you get off.
Yeah, like, it was just like when I saw it, because full disclosure, I was planning on just going to visit and network, because I thought it was in Columbia. And I was like, I don't know, I'll just like pop in for an hour and say hi, buy some stuff, and then go home. And I was like, no, it's an hour from now. I'm like, I mean, it's an hour's drive. I'm like, wait, but it was like, it wasn't that far last time, so that's when I called you.
Right.
And I'm like, and
the one in Columbia is in the summer.
Yeah, and like by the time I'd called you, it was like 4 in the afternoon, so it wasn't even those things where I can just sort of spontaneously go. It's like I should probably be getting ready for other things that evening. like what would have been
Yeah,
the stream.
and also, by the time you got there, everyone would probably be gone because I think you called me at like 3:30, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and so like so I was supposed to stream, but then my computer was just having all this slowdown. Like and I think part of that is just because I was rendering video and it doesn't like it when I'm rendering video. And so because every time I render video in After Effects, there'll just be this massive slowdown afterwards, and I just don't know what causes that. Either way, it was just not having it after several restarts, and I was just like, you know what? Nope. Let's not risk crashing in the middle of the stream. So we're just not gonna have a stream tonight.
Right. No, I hear that. What you call it? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a small con. It wasn't a lot in terms of like, the drive setting up and stuff. So the intensity was not as much. But again, I was also driving like another hour and 10 minutes back, and then, you know, going out to dinner with hubby, and then I was like, I'm done. Like, I went to bed at 8:30. I was like, I'm done. White.
I say, was Sir Chris able to go with you to the convention?
No. I promised Sir Chris that he gets to be home and be a curmudgeon until April, because for 6 weeks straight, the entire holiday season between Thanksgiving and all the way up until pretty much mid-end of January, I was dragging him everywhere with me because of family obligations and stuff between me and him. And for most of January, he had an upper respiratory and sinus infection. And then when he even recovered from that, he then got bronchitis on top of that, like 2 days after being...
Yeah.
Okay, so he was sick for pretty much the entire month of January, but we're going to we went to New York twice in January, upstate and Long Island, for family stuff and a wedding. And then, like, just driving around, and he was sick, and then I got sick at the end of January with a sinus infection, and it was just horrible. And so he said, you are not to drag me everywhere like that ever again. And when I'm sick, please respect me. I'm like, okay. So I promised him he doesn't have to go. I can't make him obligatory go anywhere until April.
That sucks. Well, it's funny because, like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I didn't have... Well, actually, no, I did have stuff to do that weekend because there was a 12-hour challenge, but I honestly wouldn't have minded driving up with you for Galacticon if I, A, planned it better, and B, wasn't streaming.
Yeah, no, that's all good. It was funny. The day of Galacticon, I woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, oh, I don't have to be there until 8:15. I got another hour of sleep. It's like, oh crap, I still gotta pack the car, and I gotta get ready, and I was like, oh, screw it, we're getting up now.
Yeah.
I was like, well, hubby was nice enough to get up at 6:30 in the morning while I'm still kind of getting ready and load up my car for me and all that stuff.
That's nice.
And then, he was MVP this weekend. Like, he got up early, loaded my car. When I got back, he took me out to dinner. He's like, let me get everything ready for you. He got everything ready so I could just go to sleep, blah, 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 blah. Made me breakfast on Sunday, like...
Well, you are married for a reason. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Drastic, did we just lose Jiggy?
Did we? Jigs!
Yeah, we just lost Jiggy. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I know she's still there. I don't know if she can hear that we can't hear her. Bam, bam, bam.
Jiggy!
Also, Drastic, since you're here, it's time for you to cut a promo for the Skipperlings.
That was weird.
That was very weird.
Yeah. I was like, well, that just happened.
I was gonna say, you two are married for a reason, so...
Yeah.
But,
Well, like, normally I do everything myself, so all that stuff was extra. I was like, yes.
well, that's nice. But meanwhile, unfortunately, the return of Jiggy does not absolve you of having to cut a promo, Drastic. So.
Yes.
All right. Fighting out of the blue corner from Baltimore, Maryland, weighing an even 200 spelled pounds, Drastic Action. Illustrator, comic artist, streamer, Drastic Action X. On Twitch, Drastic Creative. On Facebook machine, the Twitter machine, the Patreon machine, and the Instagram machine as well.
Nice.
Holla at me, high five me, let's be friends.
Hey, I like that one. I'm not gonna steal that one though.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we?
So how was your weekend, Drastic?
Good. It went by really fast. Whenever you do stuff during the weekend seems to go by really quick.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I hung out with Ali on Saturday. Was El Contador, as he's known on the Destination Shenanigans YouTube channel. Subscribe today. Anyway,
Speaking of hubby, BRB.
we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. Had some Screaming Nacho Burgers.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Watched the NBA game. I haven't done that. I do not know how long.
That's a thing now? Oh, wait. I mean, I know I sound stupid ignorant, but I'm just like, I forgot the NBA is a thing.
Yeah, they play ball, and they throw it into the hoops, and it's 2 points unless it's from beyond the arc, then it's 3.
Right.
Basketball.
Right. Sorry.
Honestly, haven't been invested in basketball since like Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
I have friends that love it, so like I pick up things from hanging around them. Like, oh, Kevin Durant is really good, and a bunch of other names. I'm not keeping up with it. I'm learning things by proxy.
That reminds me of a fight that me and my dad got into. Because I was like, oh, hey, who is the person on the commercials with it was either Venus or Serena Williams. And my dad's like, Skip, that's Steph Curry. He's so important. And I'm like, who the heck is Steph Curry? And we got into it because he thought that like Steph Curry was more famous than Serena Williams. I'm like, maybe in basketball circles?
I was gonna say, I guess it depends on who you talk to, because most people I know kind of would put them on even footing as far as how well they're known.
Mm-hmm.
Not specifically their accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
But some people really they follow a lot of sports.
Yeah, because that's where I'm coming from. Hmm?
I said I may get back into basketball, and I'm just like kind of sworn off the NFL. Maybe we'll watch college football.
Aren't they the ones that like make billions of dollars off of college students but don't pay them, or compensate them in any way?
Yeah, that's the thing that needs to change across all college sports. I mean, you get perks, but you don't get paid.
Yeah.
But then, like, that's never been a thing that I really thought too much of, because, like, you play for free all through college, and if you make it to the pros, you get paid obscene amounts of money.
Well, there's the key word, though. That's a mighty big if.
Truth.
And, of course, there's also the whole deal of you still need to, like, I mean, it's sort of a weird, like, you should know that you're going to be taken advantage of sort of thing. But at the same time, it's just like, they're kids. Why would they know these things already? So it is what it is.
How, in your estimation, can something like that be changed from where we are right now?
You would need. That's the problem, is that you would need somebody at the top of the food chain to do the right thing. Either do the right thing in a way that like basically promotes a crap ton of goodwill, a la Black Panther, whereas everybody's like, oh my gosh, black people will turn out if you put black people in things. Who knew? You need to go and make all the things for the black people. And Tyler Perry's just like, yeah, alternately, you need something really bad to happen that shows why the system needs changing. I don't really see that happening. Mostly because like college is supposed to be this sort of safe system where all the protections are in place so that a kid can't really be taken advantage of, even though they are being taken advantage of. Does that make sense? Like, it turns out like some kid, like I don't know, like broke something super fierce, and then it put him in the hospital, and then the hospital bills put him in debt, and then the school refused to cover any of it, and then the kid died from their injuries. Like, that's how bad it would have to be to change college basketball. At least that's me guessing, because I don't watch college basketball.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Well, we're talking about how college students usually just they don't get paid. Which isn't...
Yeah, no, duh, hello.
Well, you did pop out for a hot minute.
Yeah, no, but the other thing is, and here's what a lot of people don't know, is, like, why don't they just get a job? NCAA rules state, especially for Division I schools, you are not allowed to hold a job while you're playing sports, and for most Division II schools as well.
Well, and the other issue with that is that it'd be one thing if the schools were not, if sports didn't make so much money, like it was like a hobby thing where it's like, okay, well, the parents organize a fundraiser so that the kids could go traveling to do the thing like they do in all the the kids sports movies and stuff like that. But
right,
this is a $1 billion industry.
Right, yeah, this has actually been a huge discussion, especially in the last, God, it blew up in the last decade, especially with things happening at like NC State, where they got caught with kids taking classes, like it was on their transcript that they took classes, but they didn't, pushing grades so that they could play ball. It's almost like it's that tweener thing where they're trying to treat them like pros, but they're not pros. They're like between 18 and 21 years old. They haven't really, for a lot of these athletes, and I'm only speaking from my experience, it's like, you're giving me stuff that I would not be able to afford if I had to pay my own way. So it's like some of these kids come into college and they're like with a full scholarship, and then some colleges actually go out of their way and give them enticements, which again is illegal. For those of you that are wondering, it is illegal. Like one school got caught giving a dude like a car. Like, you're not supposed to do that.
Common practice not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like the only exceptions to that rule are when way back in the day, you're talking 30 years ago, 40 years ago, St. John's University, which is a Division I NCAA school, they had to give their students stipends because they didn't have dormitories yet. So kids were given stipends to pay for their rent for their apartment and for lunch food, because I don't think they had even like a lunch plan yet or whatever. But it was only because my mom went to St. John's on a full scholarship, and she was telling me, yeah, they didn't have dorms yet, so they had to give her money for her apartment rent. So, I mean, there are some exceptions sometimes, but nowadays, like, you have kids that are basically playing for nothing, and yet the school is the one making out with millions and millions of dollars. And it's not just basketball. Like, I can only speak from the basketball end, but I know for a fact, like, from the football end, forget it. It's disgusting the amount of money that happens. And also, and this ties into other issues as well, is like, you have athletes, especially, male athletes, that, you know, do shit, like they either rape somebody or they do dumb stuff, and it's like, oh, the school pays for them to get away with it, and it's stupid because you're not teaching them any responsibility or anything before they hit 21.
To say nothing of the fact that
a lack of responsibility.
Well, to say nothing of the fact that, like, your body is biologically designed to be so physically active for so long. You need to learn how to do something else with it before that limit hits.
It's not even just that. It's the fact that, you're not going to pro. Out of all the athletes that exist in college, like maybe 1% of that, not even, are gonna go pro. Maybe 1%, or semi-pro. I'll even be generous and say semi-pro.
That was a good
but
movie.
here's the thing: in college, and I'm now getting flashbacks to like preseason. If you bust, and for women especially, if you bust your ACL, if you bust something serious that you're out for a year, your career could be over, and here you are taking a bullshit basket weaving class. Like, how are you preparing yourself for the real world if something were to happen to you? Like, I know when I was in college, all my electives were not, like, easy classes. I took micro and macroeconomics. I took business courses if I was allowed to take them for my electives.
I wish I'd taken macroeconomics for my electives.
Oh, your head would hurt. My head hurt.
I would rather my head hurt than what I do not know now about economics.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is like, a lot of these colleges, at least the bad ones, because there are some good ones out there, a lot of the colleges, when they're it's kind of a lose-lose situation, because you have to remember the coaches are on the line to win. If they don't win, they get fired. So they have to do what they have to do to win, or when they're recruiting, they have to do whatever it takes to get their recruit. So if you have on your radar like a top 5 like guard in the country, and you're like, man, I gotta get that dude on my team, like, you're gonna throw them the moon. Like, yeah, we'll help you with this, full ride, blah blah blah. And sometimes it does get ridiculous. And it sucks, because the whole point of sports is to teach some life lessons. Now, when you go pro, it's a different story. And college is supposed to kind of transition that, but at the same time, college is still amateur, and they should still be teaching certain life lessons with sports. And it kind of runs contradictory, because if the coach loses a lot, then they get fired. So it's like, well...
It's like our students are doing well, but you are not.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a catch-22, because you're trying to impart this, like, these values of, for at least the colleges that I played for, like, you know, responsibility, time management, you know, community service, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, make sure you win and at least get into the NCAA playoffs, because if you don't at least get to the NCAA playoffs, you might not have a job next year.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, so it's a whole bunch of factors, and I agree with you that the whole multi-million-dollar thing is just ridiculous. Like, is pro sports that boring that we need to now go down to the college level?
It kind of always has been.
I know.
Like, if we can, Doombot writes, there's always Mexican League according to the movie sequels.
Oh, Jesus.
But,
Jiggy rant. Hashtag Jiggy rant.
Well, because, we were talking about how, like, it's basketball season, and how we're trying to move away from the NFL after the Kaepernick, debacle. And so the problem that we're running into is that there's nowhere that's not really some level of skeevy. Which, I mean, welcome to, actually, when you think about it, welcome to adulthood. You're not really going to run into anywhere that's not skeevy.
Skeevy, yeah. Like,
it was funny, a friend of ours was doing a tweet storm, basically saying, hey, check out these people. And so I was like, hey, okay, yeah, African-American, creators. So I threw your name in there, Drastic.
I've been getting messages for the last week off of that.
Same here. And so, Dandy noted to me, like, a particular creator. She's like, I'm surprised you put that person on there. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then she told me the story about this thing that creator did. And I was like, basically screwed over it.
Pterodactyl noises.
Yeah, screwed over it.
What?
So basically, this big creator screwed over another creator that I had gone to school with. I didn't know this person. And like, because basically it was just like they were talking about prices, and basically the bigger creator had paid significantly lower than the other creators. And so when called out about that, the bigger creator went on a let's call it a witch fit. Sorry.
Is that what that tweet was about that I was reading this afternoon? I was like, what is going on today?
No, actually I don't know which tweet that is. Cause there's one about Terry Goodkind, which we can get into after that.
Yeah.
But
who were the first people involved?
Hmm?
Who was the first?
This is one of those things where I like as much as I love mudslinging, I'm not gonna do it on stream. So if you want to ask, I'll DM you later. But Obi-Wan Cody writes, that scream laughed my butt off. Well, you see, because the thing is, I'm one of those people, like as I was telling Dandy, there's a naive part of me that hopes to kind of be friends with everybody that it's feasible to be friends with, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, neo-Nazis, alt-righters, and people who love avocado are off the table. But,
I love avocado.
No one likes avocado.
No, you don't like avocado.
Your face doesn't like avocado.
I don't like avocado.
But, like, obviously, Cody writes, "Sub Skip, hey Cody, welcome to the Skip stream. How are you doing tonight?" But, like, when it's possible to sort of be friendly with, like, reasonably be friendly with people, then I like to try. And that's not always possible. Like, people have legitimate beefs with each other that you don't just put aside because one person says, well, can you just put it aside for me? That's not how this works in adulthood. It works in childhood where like, the grudges are usually petty.
Oh, adults can be very, very, especially the adults I know.
I was gonna say, I need to introduce you to
petty.
I need to introduce you to a friend of mine. You've never met her. She's petty AF.
But you know what you get what I'm saying, where like,
don't you pride yourself on your pettiness, though, Jigs?
Shh. This isn't about me. I'm being like, you know, a team player here.
But you get what I'm saying about like
Miss-tell, my bad.
Meanwhile, apparently Cody can't be and I can't be friends because he also likes avocados. Also, adults are more petty. But you,
yes, go Cody.
But you get what I'm saying though, where when sometimes there's a beef where it's like, oh wow, I could never ask you to forgive that person. So so yeah, so I was just like, I'd like to try and avoid those sort of minefields if possible. And I think I've also been lucky in that either I don't get connected enough to people to ever get involved on that level, or my friends are nice enough to sort of keep me out of it. So it always kind of shocks me when I'm like, that person was not a good person. Why didn't anybody tell me?
It's like, well, what happened was
those noises, though.
I'm sorry, I don't.
It's like I'm back at work. I was teaching second grade. Teaching second grade today. Like I'm back at work. Those shrill nasal screams.
Well, because you guys know me, I don't like sticking my foot in my mouth. I don't like burning bridges. Like I'll burn a bridge over a moral thing, but I will also apologize like I will like face palm my face into a crater if I think I've been wrong. Or if I think I've done you wrong. So, that was sort of not fun. I forgot how we got to that particular discussion topic.
I'm not into burning bridges, but honestly, I feel like in some cases the bridges burn for me.
Yeah, that happens.
Like if you're a bigot of any kind, like you burn that bridge for me, man. There's no real decisions to be made on my part. Like I don't like blacks or gays or whatever you have a problem with. Like, yeah, I don't feel like that was my decision that you burned the bridge with your bigotry.
Yeah, it's funny because that actually, something like that was kind of fascinating. A very prominent comics creator this weekend wrote a tweet saying, hey guys, so let's all be friends for a month and unblock everybody. And
is he high?
Yeah. We were like, and like a lot of people were like, because his policy is not to block people, it's to sort of discuss it out with them. And a lot of people were in his thread were just like, you have that luxury. Also, you don't get as much vitriol as a lot of the other people get. Like, you don't get death threats, you don't get doxxed, you don't get what have you. And it sort of turned into this sort of him trying to be like, hey, I'm not judging if you do it, but you should. And I was just like, or rather, I don't judge you. And I was like, yeah, but you said in your very first tweet, we should all unblock everybody. And I was just like, dude, come on.
No, people are blocked for a reason. I blocked like some of my family members, which
some of your family members suck.
No, wait. Here's a gem of the day. It happened last week. It's a gem. Okay, so you know how some of those memes were flying around about gun control in other countries? Well,
yep.
One of my relatives had the gall to post how I think Sweden gives everybody a gun. And I was like, really? Does anybody not know the gun laws of Sweden? They're easy to look up. They actually put them in English for you to look up. It was like, factually wrong on everything. And I was like, never mind. Then again, this is a family member who thinks, you know, the Second Amendment is absolute. and should never be changed. And I'm like, then what's the word amendment for? Like, really?
Well, and that's sort of the problem with kind of arguing with people, is just that you're arguing to their emotional state rather than arguing to their logical core. And
I have a problem.
I'm constantly having to tell people that conviction doesn't make you correct.
Well, that's the whole thing that I have a problem with in terms of, like, I think Rachel Maddow went on at some point and said something about being emotionally correct versus being factually correct, and how I think she said her colleague, because she was, I think, still at Fox at one point, that Tucker Carlson, like, he's not factually correct sometimes and we disagree, but he's emotionally correct. And I'm like, I would rather take factually. That's like the biggest problem I believe with our country on average right now, is people are more concerned about being emotionally correct because they want something done or whatever. And it's like, but here's the big problem with that. You know who else was emotionally correct? Yes, Godwin's theory. We're going to Hitler. Like, you can be, but he was emotionally correct. He appealed to the emotions of his people at a time when Germany, recovering from World War I, was economically in the pits. He found a scapegoat. And he was able to kill 10 million people. Like, but he was emotionally correct. But that's what I'm saying. Emotionally correct. Yeah.
Well, the idea of emotionally correct is that, like, the German people needed some sort of respite from the crap storm that the rest of the world had put on them for blaming them for the other world war. So it's like,
exactly.
You guys have a right to stand up for yourselves. You guys don't have to put up for this. It's not your fault the world is like this. And that's sort of the emotional core of it. Now, factually, that's not, like, their response to that was not a good idea at all. Putting it mildly.
Somewhat mildly. But the point I was trying to make was, like, you could be emotionally correct all you want, but the point is, it don't mean squat when factually you're off your rocker.
Pretty much.
I at least in my opinion, being factually correct should take precedence over being emotionally correct. Both, I believe, do need to be there as one towards the other, but if it came down to it, I would rather have factually correct over emotionally correct.
Well, and of course, given the fact that, we don't have mind reading or mind control powers, it has to vary for each individual person. Like, yes, you and I have have sort of universal truths that we agree on, but they're not going to be the same universal truths as everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the sort of limit to respecting somebody's universal truth when it ends up endangering you. And
correct.
Yeah, that's just a fun thing. Meanwhile, Cody writes, I know petty people, but I don't fault them for it.
I feel like I'm the only person that I know that's just not into being petty at all. It's like, oh, you should have taken that opportunity to put the knife between their ribs. You were right. Like, I didn't need to.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, why be petty? You have a jigs to be petty for you.
No, my problem is that I usually overthink it, so it leads to me being petty because it's like, you could let this go. No!
Like,
if you thought about it as much as I did, you wouldn't let it go.
Petty response is less thoughtful than processing it.
Right.
Just like it's reactionary.
Oh, that is true.
Someone did A to me. I'll do B to them. It's much more. It takes much more of your mental faculties to work yourself through it and not have a searing pain in your butt about what happened.
I was gonna say, the only thing I think about is this gonna land me in jail or get me in trouble in any way, shape, or form that's relevant? If the answer is no, then IDK. IDC.
Yeah, that's the whole. Is this my hill to die on? If not, then screw it. People are telling me all the time, like, such and such said what, and you let that go? Like, didn't damage me. Just showed how lame they were.
I feel it. I don't know. I can't have, like, Granted, for me, like
not everyone's as chill as I am. I'll grant you that.
Because my chill usually, but then again, also like usually my petty usually doesn't go towards a personal level kind of petty. Like it usually goes towards some sort of other topic, like some sort of social topic, and it's like, why do you care so much about this? It doesn't directly affect you. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Probably because sexism and racism have the same emotional core in bigotry.
Well, it's not anything really petty involved in that.
Like, okay, so let's take something that is that I consider petty, but I also didn't back down on. So there's so today I was trolling through Facebook, and a friend of mine showed a video where Killmonger from Black Panther, where he talks to the museum owner about the artifact that he's about to steal. And she says they're not for sale. And he's like, what? Did your ancestors pay a fair price for them? And then it cuts to the sort of schoolyard. Oh, he owned her. Oh, whatever. Blah. And then I point out in the comments, I'm like, that's funny and all, but you're missing the point. He's not going to, if anything, he's going to treat it worse than they are. You're missing the point by celebrating it.
Right.
Like, yes, he's right in that they stole it, and it wasn't, they probably shouldn't have stole it. But you're also missing the point that he's literally going to give it to a dude who's not only going to break it, but he's also going in 15 minutes later, shove it down his pants.
Well, not that we need to know what other people.
So, like, the comments are basically, oh, Skip, why you gotta be such a buzzkill? It was a funny joke. And I'm like, you're, by celebrating the joke, and granted, you do have the right to celebrate the joke, you are also missing the point. I feel like that's more important. But like I said, like I said before I started the story, it's kind of petty for me to care that much.
Right.
It feels more like mildly anal than petty.
Like it's more OCD than petty.
Like I said, I overthink a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not thinking that's true pettiness.
Well, I don't know what true pettiness is, because you guys know me. I have no chill.
Oh, you have plenty of chill. Depends on what you're talking about.
That is true.
If it's something you're a fan of, you'll have all the chill in the world.
That is actually weirdly true. Oof. Oh god, my spine. Sorry, just stretching out.
Someone's getting old.
Well, yes and no, and I don't know, something's starting to catch up with itself. Because I think there's just some sort of habit that I haven't been, or exercise that I haven't been engaging with. And that's causing me to sort of like, my body say, okay, well, this is the new normal. I'm like, no, this is not the new normal.
What was I going to say? Well, I went to the doctor 2 weeks ago because my left forearm felt like it was like a vice grip was on it. Like it was kind of getting inflamed, and I was skitzing out because I thought it was carpal tunnel. And I'm like, well, I'm around that age, and I am on the computer a lot. But my doctor's like, well, are you left-handed or right-handed? And I'm like, well, I'm right-handed. He goes, well, it shouldn't be in your left hand. Where is it exactly? And then when I showed him where the pain was, which was more on the top of my forearm, he goes, no. It's like, you don't have carpal tunnels. And then when it was how I sit at work and how I rest on my arm at work was actually making it wonky. And now I'm more conscious of how I sit at work. It's more ergonomic, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of me whenever I'm sitting in any sort of chair. Like, after, like, the second my spine starts to, like, feel like it's old manning, like leaning over, then I'll just, like, instinctively just sit up straight. Which is kind of weird.
Right.
Right. Or if I'm holding my breath, and, like, because I'm listening to the news, then I will release the breath.
Uh-huh.
And, like, sometimes I'll have this entire, like, driving sessions of me just releasing breath. Where I'm just like, don't hold it. Let it go. Let it go.
Sing that Frozen song.
Aha! I wish. Like, actually, what you guys missed is, like, actually, because you guys can't hear because you're on the Discord. But I was actually sort of, like, wiggling out to the song that's currently playing. Which, again, nobody can see because I'm currently on break for another 15 seconds. You guys, basically, I'm rocking out in my chair, but you can't see it because the camera's off.
Lol.
Well, because it's a lot easier to sort of like you don't age as fast if you stay active.
That is true. That is true.
So, like, even when I'm teaching,
that's why I'm still in good shape from just walking everywhere and never sitting down at work.
So it's like even when I'm teaching, like my parents are like, and my sister are like, but your job, you just sit and I'm like, no, I walk around, I pantomime, I'm actually referencing the action for them, even if I'm trying to get them to do it.
Right.
And so, I just actually accidentally sat up straight again.
Lol.
Let me adjust this camera because it's pulling down on my head.
Yeah. By the way, I went live like 5 minutes ago because I didn't realize what time it was. So, hey, Jiggy Pops, what's up?
Hey, Jiggy Pops, you should do your intro. We'll pause.
Oh my god.
Jiggy Pop.
Jiggy Pop.
Oh, it's Jiggy Pop. So back from Galacticon, co-hosting with SkipperWing and Jurassic Action tonight on SkipperWing's Discord. Come check him out. Twitch.tv/SkipperWing.
Woo!
And if you can, make sure you subscribe as well. Also, Drastic Action X. So twitch.tv/Drastic Action X. I'm about to have like a tongue twister there. So hopefully you guys enjoy tonight. It's gonna be a chill night. And then, oh, somebody else came in.
Yeah, hey Whimsy, welcome to the Skip Stream. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, this is a full room tonight.
We're gonna let Jiggy finish her intro, and then Whimsy, you gotta cut a promo for the Skipperlings and the Jiggy Pops.
Yup. So yeah, so that's my intro. So we're discussing a lot of things. Galacticon happened. I'll actually put up a post about that in a few minutes. So for now, and then we'll get started with the art stuff. But anyway, Whimsy, time to go. Time for you to go and cut in.
Cut that promo.
Oh wait, do we actually have her? I know she popped in.
Hello, Cletty, Whimsy, Whimsicaya.
Whimsy? Whimsy? Whimsy!
My bad. I have a mic on.
Oh.
You got a microphone again?
I turned it off because I was like, it's gonna never work no way. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Skip, you can't prematurely declare a game over yet.
What?
We did this Metal Gear game over noise, and then you just popped out from the dead.
Yeah.
Fishing
so am I still doing my intro?
Yeah, you still gotta do your intro.
Damn. Okay. Alright, so I am Whimsy Kaya Arts on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblrs, Instagrams, and other future social medias. I draw pretty pictures.
That was
about it. Oh, and I'm also on Twitch. So that is WHIMSIKYA Arts on social medias and Twitch.
If you like it, tell a friend. If you don't like it, tell an enemy.
Tell them anyway.
Tell everybody.
Tell everybody.
Everyone!
Do the thing.
I'm gonna get my Gary Oldman.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're having echo. All right, there we go. Got it.
So yeah, we were talking about chill and pettiness and all of the things.
Yeah, adults are way better.
Oh, speaking
Because they know.
Speaking of first streamer problems, or rather first YouTuber problems, so some bot channel emails me today and goes, "Hey Skip, we love your content. You should totally join us or join our network."
Oh yeah, I know all about that.
Well, I did do an angry rant about that.
Not yet, no, but I heard you real life about that because we discussed it off camera.
Yeah. So wait, no, this is separate.
Time for that.
No, this is
Nobody got.
this is actually a different thing, I think, because it just happened today. Like this happened this morning. And so what happened was basically like this account, and I assume it's an account because no live human being would do what they did. It's just like,
Right.
hey, we like your content and we think that you'd be a good fit for us. And I I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I clicked the video that they, oh, Doombot writes a solid professional reference, Drastic. And so, yeah. And so, they, so I clicked the link to the video, and it's one of the streams. And we're gonna be here for a while, because streams usually go for about 3 hours. This isn't a problem if you're here in the stream, but if you're watching it after the fact, and you probably don't want to hear me, unless we have it structured like a podcast, which I'm trying to get this structured like a podcast, but it's not like a podcast yet. So if you're just sitting there watching me shiggle my way through a drawing, it's kind of boring after the 15-minute mark. Unless you're really into me inking or animating or whatever I'm doing at the moment. So I'm like, I know you didn't watch 3 hours of me streaming.
Hey man, you never know. Some people.
The pterodactyl stream.
So you never know, but it's more likely that they just picked a video at random and said, this is the one that shows that we like him, that we are hip and we are cool. And I'm like, yeah, huh?
Well, you see what happened was.
Do I look like Boo Boo the Fool to you?
Because that's the thing is that
I feel like they sound like, you know, for those of you that had like recruiters call you out of the blue about a job, like, hey, you know, we saw your resume and I think you'd be a good fit for company ABCDXYZ, and it's like, dude, really?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, you didn't actually check out my stuff. You're just trying to get me to join your network so you can skim a cut off of my ad revenue that I don't get anymore.
Oh my god.
Well, like, here's the thing, not because of like it's funny, I logged in the other day and it's like, oh, by the way, we switched off a certain amount of your monetization. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess you're just video hosting me now. Screw you too, YouTube. Like, I got lucky in that, like, by the time like that ban thing dropped, because I'm of two minds about this. On the one hand, having seen checks from YouTube, like 2 separate checks from YouTube, 2 over a 4-year period.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
If you're not meeting if you weren't meeting their threshold for their cutoff, you weren't making money anyway. You're not. You might have a dream about doing that in the future, but odds are if you haven't seen a check for them, and you're not hitting like 4,000 hours in the last 12 months. Why is this not working? Why is this being weird?
I don't know, but I'm so late drawing right now because hubby called. I got into that because I want to say hi, and I was like, oh man, I still gotta do right. I don't know, man. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Apparently, anime decides it's gonna die on me. This is irritating.
Again?
Again?
Didn't your computer crack out like the other day too? And I was like, what?
The computer cracked out. Animate didn't crack out. Animate just cracked out on me. That is weird.
Oh boy.
Mm.
Oh boy.
Well, on the plus side, I haven't actually started anything, so no massive
kind of a good
worries.
thing.
But
still,
yeah,
it's
it
a
still
stream
sucks.
night. It's a stream night.
My guess is that the
stream at night and the movie's right.
But yeah, going by what was happening on screen, it seems like the brush glitched itself out, and so like once it was trying to catch up to itself, it didn't get it, or rather, it didn't like itself. So, plus it saves the auto recovery. Yeah, well, sometimes that'll happen with tools and stuff where they'll just sort of conk out.
Right.
So, luckily, auto recover caught it before everything was lost.
Ow.
Did something happen drastic?
Oh, drastic. What
Did
happened?
you die?
It's Overwatch. It's
you bought me a turkey. Oh shoot!
Overwatch.
A little bit.
maybe.
That's the only thing that.
Only when things go this poorly do I make these sounds.
Yep.
Fools, protect me! I'm squishy.
Who are you running as right now?
I'm Mercy, and I'm being chased by like 4 people.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like that's the only time I like I could go like drastic. Wrestling is fake, don't you know? And he'd be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's like your opinion, man. But it's like,
to be fair, that's something you have to hear as a wrestling fan, like once every hour from people that think they're being clever.
But then, like, if I go like, hey, drastic, what? Boom, headshot. Why?
No, it's more like, why am I alone on the point? Do we want to win? I don't think we want to win.
I don't think anybody wants to win. No.
My team feels unmotivated.
I'm not. I don't think.
But it's a special kind of aggravation. Like I've gotten gold in the eliminations with the squishy Healy lady. Like, okay, well, clearly you guys didn't do your job.
Jorb. Oh God.
Do your job.
Oh,
yeah, we went there.
So yeah, so back on YouTube monetization before Animate. So, thing is that like where I was sitting, like I was not making a living off of YouTube, and the way that YouTube is structured, I was probably not going to, in the foreseeable future, make money off of YouTube, following the sort of you can shoot for your dreams advice. Like I probably have to stop like doing Crimson Fly, and switch to doing fan animations as a job. And even then, that wouldn't really pay too many bills. Like, I would still need some sort of external revenue, like a shop or something. Or Patreon.
Thanks for reminding me, I gotta set up my Etsy shop again.
Yeah. What did you...
What happened?
Well, I started to set it up, and then I think at one point, not Etsy, Store Envy. Store Envy did something policy-wise, and I was like, screw that noise, and I stopped it for a while, and now I gotta put it back up, because I was like, crap, it's still on my cards.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway,
so
no monetization.
So yeah, so I'm just like, I appreciate, that's why I said first YouTuber problem, because, like, I still apparently get to keep the little green monetization symbol around my videos.
That's nice.
I'm apparently still doing well enough for that. Even if I can't seem to get anybody to actually watch any of them. Like, that's not to guilt anybody here in the stream, because, hey, y'all are here in the stream. Much appreciated. But, like, when somebody says, I really love your artwork, and I'm like, I have numbers that say you don't. As salty as that sounds. This is, okay, see? Skip's being petty. Skip's being petty.
Hashtag petty skip.
Salty like Dead Sea is what's going on.
I guess you could say I am a chief petty officer.
Oh, snap.
Oh, here we go.
That was bad and you should feel bad.
I was like, what?
Right. It was
so bad.
right there.
So bad, and yet...
That was gold.
It
was
was
gold.
It was.
Bad joke.
That was pun gold. Anyway.
But, like, no, like, I have numbers when it says when it says, like when I go to my comic and I'm like, oh, so who visited today? Nobody. What do you mean nobody? Like, I have actual numbers. Like, nobody came to your site today, even though they say they know it's a daily update. So, and it is what it is, because, like, on the other hand, I could be doing better to advertise, and I think that doing it through Facebook is not working at all.
No.
We're gonna say nyeh on that.
No.
And the problem with that is just that there's not really an alternative option outside of... What the hell was that?
I tried to use this that I got killed.
Well, I thought you were meowing with me and Whimsy because we were saying meow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does losing as Doomfist cause you to meow like a cat?
Like, I tried Doomfist, but before I could, somebody slapped me. And I was like, oh, that was... It felt weak, so it was we weren't gonna Remind me to tell you about this game later, there, Jigs, because
Yeah.
tears.
There. I gotta fix hubby's computer, and then the three of us can get on as like the dynamic trio.
Oh.
Oh snap!
You mean
Well, my husband runs a tank, and he's one of the best tanks on our team because he actually does his job.
He's our shield, and he's very good at it. I've been wanting him to come back and play for a while because I'm tired of like the tradition is for the Reinhardt to hold up the shield until it breaks and then just charge him to death. And then, okay, well, everyone behind you is screwed now too. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just gotta get him a new CPU, but that means also getting a new motherboard because I want to get him the brand new CPUs that are out. Sorry, computer talk.
On a related note, I filed my taxes today.
You found your what?
Said filed my taxes today.
Ah, can we? I gotta do that. I saw.
I filed mine already.
You three.
I did it.
I go to H&M.
I just did TurboTax.
H&R, not the clothing store. I go to H&R Block.
So you
I'm like, wait.
So you're
Okay.
H&M? What?
What?
Yeah,
They do
sorry.
taxes now?
This
Man, they do everything.
H&M do taxes, man.
Meanwhile, Cody writes, that was extra salty, laugh my butt off. And Doombot is not amused by the chief petty officer.
Dude, this is Skip Stream. There's gonna be puns galore.
Oh, he knows.
Get used to it.
Well, sometimes, I know it's weird to say, but sometimes you can be surprised by a particularly bad pun.
Mm-hmm. Like that one.
That's all the more reason to use it.
I don't know, man. I gotta get my husband back on streaming and stuff though, because he's all about that pun life. And I was like, get away
Speaking of
from
which,
me.
where is the pun police?
I was like, how are we married?
Well, no, not that. Like, where's Quarky? This is usually her job.
I know, right? I don't even know if she's on tonight. Yeah, and the other reason why I haven't been hopping in anybody else's streams, like, or it's been sporadic, is I got dumped with I got dumped with a large project last Friday, but I've been working on 5 projects in the last 3 weeks. And so I got dumped a large project on Friday, and I've been working on that like all day, Friday and most of today. But then today, the woman who I did the client I should say, who I did the 5 projects for, 3 of them got published and they're fine, but then she comes back with the 4th one's like, here, we need an overhaul. And I was like, what?
Oh, speaking of projects for the weekend, that's the other thing that caused me to sort of fall behind. So a friend of mine posts on Facebook that a certain Nickelodeon TV show that used to be a comic book that's getting another reboot is looking for 2D animators.
Okay.
And I was just
I'm
like,
sensing a caveat.
and I was like, hey, yeah, I should apply for that, because if I don't, and anybody finds out that I had the opportunity to apply for it and didn't, I will never hear the end of it.
You're damn right you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
So I messaged her and I'm just like, so who do I talk to? Or, well, one, can I send it without a demo reel? Can I just like send my work in? Because like I haven't had a demo reel, or rather a new demo reel in a long time. It's been 4 years since my last demo reel.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, no, they need a demo reel. So I'm like, ugh. So I take the most recent pieces that I have, as well as my My Little Pony animation, because it's a dialogue piece, and just sort of cut together a reel, a first pass at a reel.
Okay.
And actually, let me link it to you guys, because I didn't ended up. So what I ended up doing was I shopped it around to a few other people to go to. Actually, let me just put it on stream, because I can just do that right here.
Yep. It's your stream. You can do what you want.
Well, also, I'm not recording any video right now, so there's that.
That's true.
You would record too if it happened to you.
So I shopped it around to a few people, and there was a few suggestions, and then I ended up disregarding all of them because they kind of all sort of meshed into this sort of, it's better off as it is. Like, I had one friend who suggested cutting it down to a minute, and that just did not work at all.
Okay.
Well, because you don't really want your reels to be too long.
Yeah, I didn't know like what the standard is in terms of animation demo reels. Like if there was there's a standard cutoff, or like what's the suggested cutoff?
The suggested cutoff is 1 to 2 minutes, but it's really kind of just depends on how entertaining the reel is. So here's mine.
Right. Let me get to your channel so I can see this.
I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can see it later.
Cool. Oh, you use the Sonic one.
What? I'd kind of have to be 15 different kinds of stupid to not use a Sonic one.
I mean, you spent so much time on it, that's why I was like...
And ain't no other pony troll it down like me. I'm Twilight Licious.
Did someone knock at my door?
That would be weird if they are.
Mm-hmm. He should be home by now? Hold on. BRB, let me go make sure he can get in the door, because if he's holding stuff in his hand, he's probably knocking so I can let him in.
So Cody writes he's about to get that flux of viewers on his YouTube. Time to get that YouTube money. Well, whatever you do, much appreciated, as long as it's not like, you know, killing people. Radicalization in gaming and the new culture wars. I don't even want to know what that's about.
What? No, it was my neighbor's kids running up and down the stairs. Yes, it is that loud.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like when it came to getting edits on the reel, there was like one suggestion was like cut it down to a minute, and I was like, no, all of that stuff kind of needs to stay. There was a suggestion to get rid of the little My Little Pony thing, and I'm like, yeah, but that's my literally only dialogue piece that I've done in a really long time.
In forever.
Which is not really a good sign. Like you don't like you can make a reel without dialogue, but you generally speaking don't want to. And
is it like a reel with dialogue? Is that like showing off all your skills? Like, yes, I can animate to, or time animation to like this. Is that what that is?
Pretty much. Like, you don't want to do a reel that does everything if that's not your goal. Like, if you're an effects animator, then stick to effects. Don't try and shoot for character animation if you're not good at it.
Right.
But generally speaking, for character animators, there should be a healthy mix of action and dialogue, which I don't have because I haven't had to animate dialogue in forever.
I will gladly talk in a microphone for you to animate to.
The problem is finding time. Like, that's not the issue. Finding dialogue isn't hard. It's finding time to animate dialogue.
Right.
So there's that. So that suggestion was out. The killing it down to a minute was out. So and then the friend was just like, well, you should animate a dialogue piece that you can make so you can make your reel even greater. I'm like, I have at most a week to submit this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making a reel.
I think it's fine as is.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I went with. I mean, I threw in the credits, basically saying, hey, this is what I did. Also, in the description, if anybody cares to check out where those videos are from. One of them is actually not public at all either, because I never released issue 5 of the Crimson Fly online.
Oh, that's right. You never did.
But if you click the link in the description box, then you can check it out. So, wrote a brief letter saying, hey, I heard you guys are looking for animators. Here's my reel as per a friend. Didn't name the friend by name because I didn't want to get them in trouble. Like, because
are they not public with it?
Well, they're public with it, but it's one of those things where it's like, if they need to vouch for me, it's one of those sort of like friends by proxy sort of deals where it's like, oh, they don't really know me, and they don't interact with a lot of my stuff. It just happened to pop up in my news feed, so I followed it.
Right.
So
I mean, yeah.
So yeah, so that was a thing that also happened today, this week.
Doombot says the reel was awesome, but they are also on team maybe cut it down. So,
cut it down.
Yeah, no, I feel that. It's just that I did actually cut it down to a minute, and wow, that was just it just did not work for me. Cause usually, like it just like, cause there's a lot of stuff I would cut if I thought I could get away with it. Like the stuff from issue 4 doesn't really quite work as well for me because it's very unrefined. Like issue 3 has the best fight animation. Well, issues 3 and 5 have the best fight animation. But cutting that down was just like, it just made it feel very, very empty. Like I know like quality over quantity, but in this case, there was not enough quality to justify the lack of quantity. So I know, I appreciate the suggestion. I just couldn't afford to cut it down.
Yeah.
And
I feel that. I mean, if you had, like you said, if you had more time to do more stuff and, you know, update some of your stuff, yeah, you probably could have cut it down, but it was like, nope, time constraints.
Plus there was the other issue of, like, if I killed My Little Pony, then it's just Sonic and Crimson Fly.
Yeah.
Which is not the best of looks either. So.
Did you get any feedback from it, or no, not yet, or?
What, on the, no, I just sent it in today, because, like, the
Oh, you sent it in today, okay.
Because the notice went out this weekend. Or
okay.
Like, either went out on Thursday, or it went out on Friday. But either way, it was one of those things where I also didn't want to overthink it, because that's also been a problem I've had. Like, I just approached it with the mindset of, I'm probably not gonna get it. So, whatever. But it's better to send it in rather than send it in with the mentality that at least you gave it a college try, even if you don't expect to get it, rather than to try and overthink it and then try and get the best possible version ever, and for nothing. Because I've been on that side of the fence too, where like I'll either overthink it for a super awesome version of my application, or I will just not apply because I just don't think that I can get the job. Right. So it's just better.
I mean, the worst they can say is no.
Pretty much, and then I go back to just doing what I've been doing and complaining about how the industry doesn't. I didn't want to work there anyway.
Something happened. What happened?
No, nothing happened. It's just like as I get older, I see less benefit in simply following my dreams.
No, I mean you actually cut out. I didn't get the last part.
Oh.
I understand they're getting older and losing hope.
So like I was just like saying like it's better like if I don't get it, then it's like okay, whatever, I get to go back to complaining about how I didn't want to work there anyway. Like because I mean that's sort of been the sort of trend of my life this recently, is just realizing that where I am is pretty good and it's a good building block, even if it's not the ideal path to success. Like, as I was saying, like, I think a few weeks ago, and I've been saying it recently, too. Like, when I got back from CTNX, I wasn't at first I was like, oh my god, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to work in the industry, blah, 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 blah. But then, like, the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, okay, so say I go out there. Suddenly, I have to start paying rent again. Because I don't do that when I'm living from home. Spoilers, I live at home. So I suddenly have to worry about paying rent again, which means there goes half of my income. which is no bueno. Also, I can live with my sister and my niece. Like, that's a thing that I can do now. I don't have to, I'm not really like that sort of petty, why did you eat my food? Blah, 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 blah. Usually if anything like that.
You guys are past that age.
Like, usually if anything like that does happen, it becomes, yo, can I eat this? And then I'll reimburse you later. Or alternately, I ate the thing, I will pay you back later. Which we usually do anyway.
Or the fact that your sister gets free babysitting.
Well, there's that too. But the point is that I can live with her. My tolerance for other people has gotten so low that if I did move out, I would move out somewhere, I'd probably want to live on my own or have a job that allows me to live on my own. I don't like getting to know people that much anymore. Like, the last time I did a job search, a roommate search in Atlanta for this. Doombot writes, sorry, I was ignoring the chat. Doombot writes, it's only because it's hard to tell the Crimson Fly chapters apart if you don't know anything about the Crimson Fly. And if you split the Sonic animation apart so people not in the know, and you split the Sonic animation part so people not in the know might think you were trying to fill space. And if the show is what I think the show is, I'd at least give them if I was them, I'd at least give you a pre-interview. Oh, well, thanks, Doombot. It is probably the show that you were thinking of. Like, the only reason, that's the other thing, is that with Sonic, there's only really 2 money shots. Like, there's the one where there's a half pipe. Well, no. There's the first sequence with dodging the bombs. There's the, because Doombot does raise a very valid point. If you're not following Crimson Fly, it just feels like a one giant animation. Especially since, like, there's not really any place to really delineate where the chapter splits are happening. And that's kind of my fault for not putting that in there as an additional thing. But I also was in a rush. I didn't want to. Like, I did it at the very beginning to show all the different bits and pieces, but I don't do it for the rest of the animation. So yeah, no, Doombot's got a very valid point there. It's just I was in a rush. But like, I just don't want to move in with other people anymore. Also, in terms of job contracts, like, animation is one of those things where it's like, you do the one job, and then you're out of a job.
Yeah. I feel bad for anybody who's an animator in this industry right now.
And as much as I gripe about teaching, and, like, Doombot, forgive me here, like, that's relatively stable for a few reasons. For one thing, I'm the main 2D animation teacher at my school, so it's an easy. So whenever there's people who need to take that class, and everybody needs to take that class at some point.
Right.
Did we lose somebody?
I think Drastic's internet is cracking in and out again. He's been having issues with it lately.
Ew, Drastic, no.
Yeah.
But like, teaching is.
Hashtag go to his Patreon so he can get better internet.
Yeah. True enough to that. But teaching is relatively stable for a number of reasons. And even if it wasn't, like, here, it's going to be stable elsewhere too. Like, I've actually considered applying at SCAD as a teacher, just to see how that would go.
Well, I mean, it's not even just that. I mean, your field is definitely a field. You're not going to have many real-world, quote-unquote real-world, professors who have experience or are knowledgeable or whatever.
Well, also can afford to have that experience too, because most schools require you to have a master's, and most people don't get their master's because it's not worth it unless you're going to go teach.
Right.
And I just don't know why I'm going to write for dialogue, so we're going to skip dialogue for a hot minute. We're going to come back to that one.
We're gonna skip dialogue. Renelier! Hello, Renelier. I love Renelier. She comes on all the time.
Hey, 2 seconds, Jiggy. Hey, Sam, streaming.
Uh-oh.
I'm streaming! Yes, that's a no.
I already have a tea that's open. Where'd it go? All the teas. I always have these. But it's like, I put one down. I already had one open and I put it down and I don't... Oh, there it is.
What, tea?
Yeah, I have unsweetened black tea.
Nice. So yeah, my sister just got home, and I think she went to do a bunch of shopping, and she was like, "Can you help me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not on break yet."
It's like, chill. Leave
Well,
it in the car, I'll get it.
No, that's not how that works. I mean, I get where she's coming from, but it's also the issue of I can't just drop everything just because you want me to. Like, that's a hey, drastic. I assume that's drastic.
I hope that's drastic.
I think so.
Yeah, that's me.
Alright, cool. Guys, say hi to Renelier. Renelier is always in the stream whenever I'm on.
Hey, Renelier.
What up?
Also, I can't look up from my stream, so I'm trusting that how Jiggy's saying is how it's supposed to be said.
Oh, well, she said it's very French sounding, and I like how it sounds. I'm hoping I pronounced it right.
So yeah, it's just this issue of and that's sort of an ongoing thing with my family, where it's just like, I know what I'm doing seems trivial to you, but it's not.
Yeah.
And alternately, if I get into the habit of just indulging whatever it is that you need me to take care of in the moment, then you're just going to keep doing that, and it's going to get to a point where I'm like, okay, well now I absolutely cannot listen to you in a moment where it's absolutely important that I need to have that space, where you need me to do the thing. Like, that's sort of an issue that me and my parents have. Like, I'm very lucky that they are as involved in my life for a positive as they are. But there's also issues where it's just like, oh wow, I'm now out $1,000 because of a thing that you wanted me to take care of. Thanks for that. But that's no bueno.
Oh, you're out $1,000.
Yeah. Or alternately, can't you take a break to do the thing? It's like, no, I can't take a break to do the thing.
It's like, this is important to me. Can you act like it's important to me, or respect that it's important to me?
Or alternately, I'm working at a higher workload than anybody else. Not anybody else, but a lot of other people in my field. And thus, my busyness reflects that.
Oh yeah, it does. It did.
The thing is thing.
Oh,
So.
Renelier says, it's not how I say it, but I dig your way too. Oh, thanks, Renelier.
See, now I have to check this out, because I want to know, because I did used to speak French.
I know. Oh boy.
I'm probably going to butcher it, because, I have to wait for her to actually say something again in the chat, because...
Well, she's in my stream chat if you wanna...
Oh yeah, no, I'm watching. I just, because I just popped in, I can't see it until she says something.
Okay, well, Renelier. I don't know if you know how to, if you can show, a pronunciation guide, or just, type in how it should be pronounced. That'd be cool. Because Skip does speak le français.
Actually, that's how I would pronounce it too, is Renelier.
Yeah, I usually use the username... She has another good name! Vanira, as in vanilla, but, the Asian way of pronouncing it. Oh
Vanilla?
Vanira Renelier.
That's like Spanish and French.
Yeah, we're just gonna switch. Why not?
That's what it sounds like.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep adding dialogue on top of this later. Because I just cannot think of what I want to say. Rather, it's not so much I can't think of what I want to say, it's just that I'm in chat, so I can't talk while trying to script out dialogue for these characters. At the same time.
Go script out dialogue, we'll talk, because I'm just coloring.
Oh no, I would have to mute you guys so that I'd have to drop out of the chat for that, so.
Whatever. Do what you need to do, man.
It's all good, I can come up with it later.
Do it till you're satisfied, whatever.
But apparently Renelier says her parents have that thick accent. So she was like, wow, what a great username.
Mm-hmm. I'll knock you out. Ah, no, don't want to do that. I wonder if I'm gonna finish this by
Actually, I want more. Oh god. There we go.
So yeah, this weekend was actually kind of interesting because also we had a 12-hour challenge at work, which was nice.
Oh really?
Yeah, and there was actually a lot of good competition this quarter.
I was gonna say, don't you have those sometimes? I forget. You told me about those.
Yep, once a quarter.
Once a quarter. Oh, so it was okay. So this is for this quarter. Cool.
Mm-hmm. And there was actually a lot of good competition this quarter. which was good. Because usually it's like the same 2 or 3 people compete. And it's kind of boring because it usually involves me making passive-aggressive comments in their general direction. Which,
like, that's great.
No,
That's great for a noob.
like, it's like, oh wow, you guys are here. I remember back in my day, we could do 24-hour challenges. Because for security reasons and also because the interest wasn't there, it had dropped down to 12 hours.
Right.
Oh.
And the thing is that, like, back when Whimsy and Drastic and I were in school, like, these are things that I would do on the regular. So it got to a point where, like, I was, like, a 4 to 5 time winner of these challenges.
4-timer.
There you were.
Yeah, I won a lot of those, because nobody else was competing. Or ultimately, when people were competing, it was not on my level.
Gee.
Well, no, because remember, like, our school was sort of divided into, at least in the animation department, into a lot of different sort of classes and casts of people. And one of the biggest ways,
Clicks.
yes.
Clicks. You mean that thing you do in high school?
Well, yes. But the other thing that people used to do that would really annoy me is they would try to social climb with the teachers. Which,
oh yeah, the guys in your program were like, a lot of them felt like they were really up to professors' behinds.
Yeah.
and like that's one thing that like annoys, not only annoyed me when I was a student, but it also annoys me as a professor. Like, if you want to impress me with your work. Don't impress me with how much you like the thing that I like. Like,
right.
That's the easy, because the thing is that, like, once you're gone from school, and not because you failed out or because you've but I mean if you've graduated or you've moved on or what have you.
Right.
I am going to be a footnote in your mind. You're not going to revisit me as a teacher. I know this.
I visit my professors. What are you talking about?
Well, you do. But, like, most of my classmates have sort of moved on with their lives.
Right. And I mean, but I gotta say, like, my professors, I think, well, I guess because my class was 30 people, which is still kind of big for a communications department. But at the same time, like, we all hung out together. Like, literally, in a group, like a mafia. Like, there was at least 15 to 20 of us at one time in that building, in the communications building. Like, either editing video, we're on each other's shoots, we're on each other's film sets, we're helping each other out, we're getting each other's contracts. And then, you know, when we're waiting for our stuff to render, we're running at 1:30 in the morning to the Lantern Diner, because the stuff's not going to be done till, like, 3 or 4, and it's due, like, in 24 hours.
No, I feel that. But, like, in terms of, like, I'll have students where they'll come up to me like, yo, Professor Bird, did you catch the latest episode of blah, 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 blah? Or they're like, hey, Professor Bird, what do you think of XYZ thing? And then, like, at the end of the quarter, Professor Bird, why is my grade like this? Because you spent so much time trying to get me to fanboy over things. I didn't forget that I'm still your teacher.
It's like, you got wrecked! Sorry.
So, like, I would make a lot of passive...
So you can stop trying to schmoz.
No, impress me with your work. Like, as a few people in the Discord can attest, like, if you got work, and even if it's not the greatest of work, I will respect the work ethic more than I will respect the work.
He respects the hustle, dude.
He does not respect the hustle.
So yeah, but this time there was actually a lot of good competition. It was very impressive. It wasn't the same people doing the same thing over and over again. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Cause like I said, usually with me, I'm like, I expect the same amount of, at a near level, for your level of discipline. When you're in school. Like, obviously, I'm not expecting you to put out the same quality of work that I put out. Because, hello, 8-year head start.
Yeah.
But I am expecting you to care as much as I do, if not more. And, yeah, that doesn't mean necessarily... Caring more doesn't necessarily mean working harder than I do. Because after that level, after a certain point, that's just kind of unhealthy. But I do expect
Yeah, I
you to
heard
do
something
the.
about caffeine.
But I do expect you to do the best that you can do for your level. And it's not hard to tell when you are or are not. Like if I give you a certain amount of advice and I can see that you're not taking it, then I'm going to stop giving you advice because it's like, okay, here's your problem. Here's how you fix it. You're choosing not to fix it. I can't do anything until you decide to do that.
Right.
Like as far as I'm concerned, I've given you a door to get around this brick wall, and you keep throwing yourself at this brick wall because you don't want to walk through the door. I can't help you.
Come with me if you want to draw.
But yeah, it was a pretty good challenge. Even though I got nothing done because I was trying to get Animate to sort of work on my Cintiq companion. It was working, but it wasn't working the way that I wanted it to work.
Right.
Like, if you guys will notice, like, the lines here are pretty smooth. And it doesn't do this weird grid thing. Like, Animate does this weird thing where there's, like, a line grid. I don't know why it's doing that on my Cintiq. Or rather, on my Cintiq when it's in tablet mode. Which is really frustrating because, like, I want to be able to work in Animate while I'm not at my desk. And I can't do that because now the brushes are different enough from each other that I kind of need to be working on one version or the other. And since Flash is going away and Animate's brush is finally usable in on desktop, that is what it is. So tomorrow I'm gonna screenshot it and send it to Adobe and see what they say about it.
Is Adobe good like that? Like, will they answer the question and stuff like that, or no?
Well, either they already have an answer or they have no idea what's causing it. They're like Microsoft that way.
It's like, we haven't run into this issue before. Thank you for letting us know, and blah blah blah.
It's like, great, do you have a solution? Check back in our next patch in 3 to 6 months.
It's like, whatever.
Like, legit, that's how they roll.
I know. We've had this discussion too. It sucks that they are the standard, unfortunately, but at the same time, that also means, like, you're at the whims of like you said, 3-month patch.
Which I wouldn't mind if, like, because that's the other thing is that Adobe's not the best when it comes to Animate in particular. Like, with Photoshop, they're like, yeah, we'll fix it. But with Animate, it's just like, oh, why should we care? You're not using it the way it's supposed to be used anyway.
I hate that.
Well,
like, no, we innovate. We found a way to innovate how it's used. How about suck on that? For, like,
well, I mean, in their defense, like, you're not really supposed to be making comics in Adobe Animate.
At least not anymore.
Well, not even in the first place. You're not really supposed to be, like, the general usage of Animate has been such that even if you're using animation, you're not really supposed to be doing traditional 2D stuff. And even if you're doing traditional 2D stuff, it's like the sort of Gynax style, very, like, if you're gonna be complicated, you're gonna be sort of like Gynax style, where it's complicated for animation, but not for comics or illustration.
Right.
So to be making a daily comic strip in Animate is not really something you should be able to do. Like, you're not really supposed to get this level of hatching. You can't see it yet because I'm going to move over. But you're not really supposed to get that level of hatching in an Animate file. Like, you're just not supposed to.
Oops. Yeah,
so when Adobe says, we don't know what you did because you're not using it the way we're supposed to, I'm like, yeah, I know. But hey,
here's the thing. Mm-hmm. You programmed it. Mm-hmm. That's their program. I'm sorry.
Like, it speaks to the strength of their program that it is as versatile as it is. And that really all of their programs are as versatile as they are. Like, there are people who talk about animating in After Effects, even though I give them the strongest side eye. Like, what are you doing?
I was gonna say our video team animates in After Effects, just FYI.
I get that. I also don't get that.
I'm sorry. I know, I don't either. I'm not an animator, so I'm just like, whatever, just make it look good and don't make the company look bad, so it doesn't matter.
Like, it's doable. I just wouldn't. And it's not even one of those, I would learn it if you asked me to. I'm just like, nope, you gotta go hire somebody else.
It's like peace, bro.
But their programs are surprisingly versatile for what they are. Like, I always have to remind my students, Photoshop was not meant for painting.
Even though people do the craziest stuff in it.
Pretty much. Like, it wasn't even one of those ones where they bought out the original owner. Like, it was just not meant for what it's used for. And yet, well, it's the industry standard for illustration. You can fight me on that. I wish Clip Studio Paint was. I wish Clip Studio Paint was the industry standard, but
well, Clip Studio Paint is so much better. Like, I painted with Photoshop for years, and like I was never like I would download different brushes. Like, I can't get the effect right. I can't do this right. Like, I test different mixings, and I'm like, I'm just not getting it. And then here comes Clip Studio Paint. It's like, oh, this looks so much better and prettier. Never mind. Bye.
And I'm also one of those people who could like never get into the Kyle Webster brushes. That's not to say that they're bad. They're good. It just wasn't for me in terms of using it as a pencil. And then Clip Studio Paint's like, oh, by the way, here's an actual pencil that doesn't degrade over time like a real pencil. I'm like, thank you. That was always my problem with the Photoshop pencil brushes. It's just like, oh, by the way, we made it degrade like an actual pencil. Like, you know how an actual pencil loses its sharpness over time?
Right.
Which is easily, for me, is easily viewable with when you're looking at an actual pencil. And you can just sort of course correct by drawing on top of it.
Right.
But with Photoshop, it's like, oh, by the way, we're degrading the pencil because we can. I'm like, why?
Why you do that?
Well, because we wanted to emulate a real pencil. But your strength is that you don't have to have the weaknesses of a real pencil.
Right. I think Corel did that too. Like, I forgot what version it was they started doing it. Like, if you painted in Corel and, like, oils or acrylics or whatever, or even watercolor, if you left it alone, it would quote-unquote dry and get the effect like a real painting. I'm like, no. The whole point of digital painting is that I don't have to deal with half of this crap.
Or ultimately, like, have it start with the finished version, dried version. Don't make me wait for it.
Right. I mean, they didn't make you wait like an hour or like real time or anything. It took like a few seconds, but I'm like, the whole point was it's like, or a few minutes. I think you can mess with that. I'm not sure.
Press Alt D to dry.
Yeah. I mean, I think the whole point was is like, well, while it's still wet, you can do a wet mix, and then when it's dry, you can do like a dry/overlay or whatever the hell.
Oh, then give me control over that. Like, don't make me wait for it.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I was like, what's the point?
Well, I sort of get it though, because like again, like I'm treating Animate like an inking program when you're not supposed to. And really, a lot of what makes me good as an illustrator and an animator is that I apply a traditional mindset to digital as much as possible.
Right.
So I get it. I also don't get it.
And at the same time, though, like, I get why they did it, though. They wanted to get people, I guess, into like who don't have traditional background into art more easily. But at the same time, it's like, I feel, and this is, like I said, this is just my opinion. It's not everybody's. I feel like you should kind of start with traditional first.
Oh, you always should.
Oh yeah, but some people don't. Like, we actually know somebody who he started digital, and now he's going back to traditional. If you know, what's his name? Chris.
Which one?
Beard.
There are many of us.
Okay, okay. White dude, beard. He's usually at Drink and Draw.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that Chris.
I thought he started traditional.
No, he started digital, and he even said he's like it's a different mindset because he started digital first, and then he said he started taking traditional classes, and then he's realizing like the mindset, how different of a mindset it is.
Yeah,
in terms of what you're doing, because when you're trying to, and art is problem solving. That's what art is. Creativity is problem solving. I don't care what anybody says, because I do it every day at work.
Well, actually, you guys missed it. You saw me problem solve through this story at the beginning of stream.
Right, exactly. And the whole point is, it's like, when you learn to problem solve, I want not the harder way, but the more traditional way first. Then when you go to digital, you're not. I feel like you're better prepared to go through the same problems. Yeah, you have the shortcuts to get through those problems, but now you're just. I can't explain it. You're more in tune, I guess, with what you're doing on the canvas than if you just started digital first.
Oh yeah, like actually, I started digital first too, because I started in middle/high school with a tablet, and then of course, like as everybody starts out, like with the regular just like yellow pencil. I forget what it's called.
Number 2 pencil.
Yeah, regular number 2 pencil. Sorry, I haven't had to use one in forever. Like, it's actually kind of funny, like, at work when a student will, like, a student asks for a signature. I'm like, cool, did you bring a pen? And they're like, and they scramble for a pen. I'm like, I also don't have a pen, because I don't need one anymore. Well, it's kind of true. It's like I have my tablet on me pretty much 24/7. So, even if somebody was to send me a document, I could just open it up there. And, heck, Adobe lets you sign things digitally now.
Oh, yeah.
So... Or I mean, whether it is in Acrobat Reader, or if it's just like creating a signature in Photoshop and then saving the JPEG and then importing that into Reader, or importing the PDF into Photoshop and then signing it. So you don't need to anymore.
No, agreed. And also, like, depends on your profession too. Some people are like, no, electronic signature not allowed.
But, which is kind of, I get it, but it's also kind of dumb, because, like, you can't verify my real signature either.
Right.
But, the reason why I bring that up is that, like, you get a greater appreciation for what you're doing if you start traditional. Like, I think
Agreed.
I have the appreciation I have for animation and traditional animation because I didn't start the way the Newgrounds generation did. Where it's just like, oh yeah, motion tweens and symbols and all that.
Oh my god. Vey.
Like,
I remember those days.
Like, it's part of the reason why for my distaste with stick figure animation. Like, unless you're a personal friend of mine or a person I know IRL, you show me a stick figure animation, I'm like, yeah, you've lost me. Sorry. Like, you've bored me.
You've bored me. Get away, you peasant, you've bored me.
Bored with this now. What else you have?
Because the reason for my distaste for stick figure animation is that because without character, there's only so many poses that you can do before you got to the point where you've done everything a stick figure can do. You're not really showcasing your skills. Especially since, like, also stick figures have to be, by their very nature, two-dimensional. You can't, sure, you can do camera angles and stuff, but at their very core, stick figures have to be two-dimensional. There's a few exceptions to the rule. Like, there's this one green versus purple animation that's amazing. And I just realized I didn't set a break timer, and I need to take a break. So...
Again.
Well, this time I started to feel the tension in my body, and I was just like, why am I starting to feel tense? And it's like, oh, because there hasn't been a break in a while. Also, apparently Sudi's watching. Hey, Sudi, welcome to the Skip stream.
Hi, Sudi, what's up?
Sudi.
I don't know. I always feel creepy whenever it's like, oh, by the way, a person is your friend has joined is now watching. I'm like, do I call them out or do I just let them go?
Let it be, let him be, let it be.
Well, no, because people talk if they want to talk, and they hang out if they lurk if they want to lurk, and sometimes it's not fair to call people out and say, hey person, hey, can you see me? I see you too. Hi.
I know I have a few lurkers sometimes in my stream. I just leave them alone because they're probably having something on in the background just while we're going.
Exactly.
That's cool too. I'm just appreciating that they're here though, like to be honest, because like, yay, there's people here. Thank you for at least using me as background noise. I am useful. My art stream is useful.
Pretty much. Well, no, pretty much that. It's pretty much that.
Like,
So
my art stream serves a purpose.
So yeah, so I always feel weird, but I'm also like, hey, somebody, I really appreciate that you're here. Whew. Ah, my spine.
Did you say ow your spine?
Yes, my spine.
Oh, your spine. Oh, you're getting old. Oh boy.
Well, also I don't exercise. That's the real issue.
Yeah, I have to get back on that. All that weight I lost, I gained like half of it back. I was like, shit.
Like, because I do recognize that, like, eventually my metabolism's gonna slow down. Probably nowhere near as fast as everybody keeps telling me it will.
30, it hits the brakes. I'm not even joking. 30, 31, it's going to hit the e-brake and do, like, you know, the initial D-drift in reverse.
Well, the reason why I'm not crazy worried about it is because, like, a lot of my family has aged really well past the 30 mark.
Right. I mean, if you have, it's like, we agree, it's genetics. Like, if your family naturally has high metabolism, even to begin with, that's fine. Like, I have a friend, she's had 2 kids. She's like, I'm fat now. I'm like, what do you mean you're fat? She goes, I'm not a size 0 anymore, I'm a size 2. I was like, shut up. But even she's the same age as me. She's 33. She had 2 kids by the time she was 29, and she still looks great. She still eats Mickey D's and all that stuff. Sometimes she plays ball, sometimes she doesn't. But she's like, nah, she's still a size 2. I was like, screw you, hippie. I hate you.
So, like, going by my parents, like, neither of my parents actually looks like they're pushing 70.
Are they pushing 70?
My dad is.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like, you wouldn't, like there are certain giveaways that they sort of like that if they let themselves indulge in, then you could tell. Like, my mom's got gray hair.
Okay.
But she dyes it black, and if with the black hair, you can't tell that she's in her late 60s. I have to ask her about. I actually have to ask Dad about that. I can't ask Mom about that because she'll never tell me.
Just giving away your mom's secret.
Dude, I would go right up. I go up to my grandmother and I call her the old hag. Like what's up, old hag? My grandmother is 83.
Yeah, no, my parents are very particular about not being referred to as grandma and grandpa by my niece.
Really?
Yeah, like, my dad's like Pop. My mother is Nana.
Okay. Well, that's common.
Well, it's common, but it's also very telling because, like, I was just like, yeah, grandma and grandpa, and I think part of that has to do with her relationship with her father, with my niece's father's side of her family. Because on that side of the family, they are grandma and grandpa.
Oh, okay.
But on my side of the family, they are Nana and Pop. Which I don't get, but I'm also one of the people where, like, having perpetually been on the young side of things, like, I welcome getting old. Not like the obviously not the downsides of, like, oh god, I can't walk anymore. But like the actual looking my age bit, I can stand to grow into that. Even if I don't think I will ever sound my age.
Yeah, let's go back to that pterodactyl. What did you say, Jurassic? Sounds like you're 2nd graders. What?
Your face, Jiggy. Your face. Why did the line disappear?
Like many of my students.
Also, I think there's a little bit of vocal fry in my voice that I can't seem to get rid of ever.
Yeah.
So there's that. Because I think I know it's not just the pitch. I also know it's not just the dialect that I choose to use at times. I know that there's also, like, the way that I speak specifically. And I know that vocal fry has a lot to do with that.
You do, as far as getting old, you've got the grumpiness down.
Yeah.
Like, we can't tell Skip's age except when he talks, and he sounds like a grumpy old man.
Yep. So.
Constantly yelling at clothes.
So that's what the thing with.
On this culture, what is this Bay nonsense I keep hearing about?
So yeah, so it's funny because like everybody's like when it hits you, it's gonna hit you hard, and I'm like, if my family's any indication, it's probably not.
Yeah, I mean, on average,
but not totally.
Yeah. I'm saying if you have a history of good genes in your family in that regard, then you probably won't have to worry. It might slow down a little bit, but it's not going to be like, I know when I hit like 30, 31, it was like I said, E-brake, initial D. I was like, what the hell?
So these traits tend to skip a generation. Like if you've met my younger brother, people are always like stunned to discover that my father is not tall. Like,
I was gonna say, my grandmother is 5'2", 5'1".
Oh yeah, well it's weird because
I'm
like
like 6'4", my brother's like a little taller than me, and Pop is like 5'10", 5'9", I think. Like he's not what you would consider above average height.
No.
If you're always like, "Is your dad?" Like, yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing is that like
Pop's not terribly tall.
That's the funny thing is that my dad is 6'5", and his side of the family tends to run really tall.
Really? So you got your mom's height?
Pretty much. She's Bilbo Baggins sized.
Oh.
We don't have too many tall relatives. My grandfather was, he was at least 6'2".
So
I can't think of anyone else in my family that's got the tallness.
So it's funny because then that means that like because like my grandmother is Yoda sized. So what's funny is that me and my sister have a Mario and Luigi thing going on, where I'm shorter but I'm stockier, but that's mostly to do with like the lifestyle of a patriarchal society where like I'm a boy. Whereas she's
really thin if you're stocky.
Compared to her.
That's what I'm saying. She must be really thin.
We're around the same thinness, but she is pretty. But because she's a little bit more stretched out than I am, it manifests that way. Which is funny because I remember for the longest time I was like, man, I'm the same size as Mario. I can feel comfortable about myself. And then Super Mario Odyssey happened. I'm like, oh wow, I'm not Mario sized at all. Like, what is Mario? No one should be that short. Then again, apparently he's also in his mid-20s.
What? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Nintendo's official stance. Mario and Luigi are 25, 26. Peach is 18.
Whatever.
I don't know how Peach is 18, but I sort of, given how Charles Martinet's performance has evolved, I can sort of buy the Marios in their mid-20s.
I can sort of buy. That wasn't a full commit.
Well, it can't be because the mustache and the pudginess can't fully explain it away. I
mean, I was gonna say the mustache and the pudginess screams middle-aged man. I'm sorry.
Well,
I thought he was in like early 30s.
Well, and see, there's also the rub is that like that's viable in the.
He's just a hairy Italian man. He's young.
He's your average hairy Italian middle-aged man.
Well, you say hairy, but like he is baby smooth in Mario Odyssey. Like he has no chest hair.
What?
No.
He's not a real Italian.
He's got nipples.
Like he has very clearly visible nipples.
That's weird.
We're talking about Mario's nipples.
Yes. It's weird that it's a thing. It's even weirder that it's a topic of discussion.
Hey, you're the one who brought up him being hairy.
I didn't say anything about hairy.
I didn't say anything about any damn nipples. Now that's a total.
Oh wait, Whimsy, I'm blaming you for that.
What he does, I seen the picture. He got nips.
Like I'm actually going to take some.
Were you looking at like Mario porn or something? Like why would
you? No, the screenshot.
Don't remind me how horrible the internet can be.
Well, no, because like Mario Odyssey,
All I want to say is that doesn't exist.
one of the.
Wait.
So okay, so
the internet, of course it exists.
okay, so like we're gonna pull Jiggy's brain out of the gutter for a hot minute. One of Mario's costumes in Mario Odyssey is just a pair of swim shorts. You dirty, dirty people. And because he's just wearing a pair of swim trunks, you can see his nipples. There doesn't have to be anything weird about this.
No, there isn't, but it's Japan, so we have to question it.
All of you are saying dumb things right now.
But I mean,
I am just correcting the assertion that Mario is hairy. But yeah, Mario and Luigi are 26 and Peach is 18 apparently.
I thought Mario and Luigi were supposed to be 18.
No, mid-20s.
When in college.
When did that change?
Oh my god.
We're going to plumber school.
Well, apparently
When did that change?
Well,
fixed one damn pipe.
Your 18 to 20 thing was a misconception on your part.
I read it somewhere.
I don't know where you read it because I probably read the same things.
Oh god.
But Miyamoto is quoted as saying that they're in their mid-20s. Peach is 18. Mario is not a plumber anymore. Whether it's a retcon or not depends on your personal preference.
Wait, he's not a plumber? What is he?
He just is a dude.
Just a guy.
He's a dude.
College.
Wait, so he's a dude who didn't grow out of Oshkosh Bagosh. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
He's an overall enthusiast.
Like, basically, Nintendo cottoned on to the fact that Mario hasn't been doing plumbing in a very long time and just said, you know what? You guys know who he is. We don't have to give him an occupation.
Yeah.
Like, he just kind of exists as a template.
Okay.
Did he ever fix the pipe? I know he's used a bunch of them. Has he ever fixed one?
Yes. Yes, he has. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, they end up fixing a pipe as part of a castle security system. I crap you not. It turns out
lol.
It turns out that fixing the pipe disables the security system, which makes me question a lot of things.
Oh my god.
And then there's the opening to Super Mario 3D World, where they fix a pipe to the Sprixie Kingdom, which allows Bowser to capture the Sprixie Princess. So good job, guys.
He just comes out like, oh look, more ladies to steal. I'm outie. Like, really, dude? We just
well,
all right, we sat there and watched it, so I guess we gotta fix this problem.
Well, it's more along the lines of if he kidnaps Peach, she can't. If he doesn't kidnap Peach, then she can't be a playable character. So we have to kidnap somebody else. And what actually leads them to jumping into the pipe to go fix it is that Peach reaches into the pipe to try and reach for Bowser, ends up falling in. Mario and Toad are like, oh crap, she fell in. We have to go in after her. And Luigi's just like, oh god, everybody left. Okay, stay calm, Luigi. You can do this. And then jumps in the pipe after them.
Wait, why did Peach reach for Bowser?
Because Peach because he kidnapped the Sprixie Princess at this point.
Because that woman is more trouble than she's worth.
And let me tell you, some girls about what?
So yeah,
Mario needs more friends. Like, man, you need to leave this girl alone, buddy. I'm telling you.
Dude, she's barely north of legal. You might wanna.
Well, according to...
I think she put up more of a fight, you know, because she keeps getting kidnapped by this big turtle guy. She doesn't really seem to mind when it happens, does she?
Well, according to Miyamoto, they're just all really, really good friends. The cake is not a euphemism, Jiggy.
What? I am not saying anything.
Yeah,
it would
but
be a euphemism if it was pie.
Yeah, but you're the one who went into the...
What kind of pie? The Rock?
It don't matter what kind of pie it is. But,
The Rock was very fond of a certain type of pie.
But, But no, I'm singling you out because you're the one who went down the adult hole when I brought up when Whimsy brought up the nipples. So.
Hey,
was
I just made a comment about
let's
the
stop
internet.
talking about that is all I said.
I just made a comment how the internet works. So
yeah, so they're so apparently they're just really really good friends. The Koopalings are not Bowser's kids. He's only got one. It's Bowser Jr. No one knows who the mom is. It's not Peach.
I'll say that'd be one very painful childbirth.
Well, to be fair, they're all delivered by storks, so.
That's true.
Also,
so the
there's
Koopalings are not his kids?
no, they're not.
No.
Because then you'd have to deal with the fact that Mario kind of killed them all briefly.
Well, to be fair, he kills them. It's the defeat's not treated as a death, except in that one time in New Super Mario Brothers where he killed Bowser.
He brought him back to life from the.
Because they definitely called him dad in the cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoons are almost never canon.
I know. It was fun.
Similarly, Mario's never been to New York. If he's been to New York, it was probably actually New Donk City.
New Donk City.
In fact, if I had to
party.
if I
New Donk City.
if I had to hazard a guess about the Mario canon, is that Mario and Luigi born via stork, and then went to college in New Donk City where he met Pauline, and that's how Donkey Kong happened. And then after that, he just went back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and that's how that happened.
So you have this game, this simple, silly game about the man who likes to jump on turtles and rescue princesses. And they're like, oh man, we need backstory now.
Well, he doesn't.
We need to tie a bunch of these dubious threads together.
If we had to, that's how I would do it. But no, Drastic's right in that it's like, the story doesn't matter. Like you don't. That's the cool thing about Mario is that you don't have to play them in order to You don't have to play them in order to understand the story.
Right. Who was it that said I was in a stream the other day. I think it was Renelli. I don't know if Renelli was in it or not. Someone said they're doing the all the Kingdom Hearts games from one. I was like, why? Why would you do that to yourself?
Why?
Oh, Fry's doing this. It's either Fry or...
Oh, that was Fry. Okay,
it's either Fry or Gabe's.
Probably Fry. No,
because Gabe's...
Because I was in his stream and he was on Kingdom Hearts 2. Because you're in the Chippendale ship, the Lego ship, call it.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because I feel like Kingdom Hearts is in this weird place where you both don't have to play any of them, but you also have to play all of them to really care.
Not even just really care, like the cast of characters has come to the point where of Squeenix level muddled story time.
Well,
yeah.
But here's the thing: is that like
they're kind of way too deep in this.
But it's like even with 15, where it's like, would you play it if it wasn't a Final Fantasy game?
I didn't play Final Fantasy 13, and that's a Final Fantasy game. I said hell to the no.
Yeah, but that's different because aren't 13 the MMOs?
No, 13 is Lightning.
Oh right.
13 is that trilogy that we don't acknowledge whatsoever.
I stopped paying attention after 7.
Yeah.
I started playing it again, and I'm finding myself liking it again.
I mean, 15 I think did a lot of things to come back to Final Fantasy, but Squeenix did what they did in 10, what they started doing in 10. They kind of did it in 9, but they saved themselves. But they really started doing it in 10 is where they start with a simple story, and then by midway through the game, it is off the rails, and you forget what your original objective was in the first place.
Oh, they did that in 7.
Why?
They did that in 7.
Those are going to talk about the lame heroic lead.
I say, but that's
a cry McWang.
I say because they started that like simple story thing in 7.
They did, and at least throughout 7, as you're taking on Shinra, at least there was a pivot point where you realized, okay, we're taking on Shinra. They tied Shinra into how everything was being destroyed. I feel like they did it in a better way there, because what 15 did is they did kind of a thing where, okay, we're taking on this kingdom, and then while you're on the journey to take on the kingdom, it's like, oh, here's a totally other quest that's going on. We're gonna go do that now. Forget the other kingdom.
Well, let's face it. What's his face? Alden, the guy, the bad dude. He's just like
I haven't played it.
the main bad dude.
I haven't played it.
Are you going to play it?
I don't have a PS4, man. Probably not. Help me.
Okay, then I'm saying stuff.
Basically, his main goal is that
Spoiler alert.
Go ahead. Just go ahead
Okay.
and say it.
his main goal is just to kill 3 people. He didn't need to kill an entire. He didn't need to take over the entire kingdom for this.
Well, there's other stuff too to him. Apparently, he is, spoiler alert, Whimsy, if you want to cover your ears, turn off your mic, you all have a chance to do this right now.
Oh no!
Yeah, whatever. Apparently, Azuna, I think his name's Azuna, actually. He is actually a king of Insomnia, who thousands of years ago decided, hey, I'm gonna save Insomnia by taking demonic energy. Didn't realize that he couldn't go to the afterlife, so now he's all pissed off. And
He
so now
still
has
only needed to
goals.
kill 3 people.
Yeah, well,
Is that what happened to Insomnia games?
Yep, pretty much.
Is
He
it really named
basically wanted to
Insomnia?
kill. He wanted to kill the king. He just wanted. And here's the thing. This is the other thing that pisses me off about the story, is that okay? The point of the story is it's a sacrifice story, but at the same time, it fulfills the villain's goal. So it's like, why would I want to do that? Why do I want to do that?
Yeah, Arden.
Why?
Arden is his name.
Arden. Yeah, Arden.
No, but the thing that bugs me with those kinds of stories is just like, you had to kill 3 people. You didn't have to do half the stuff you did.
Right. Well, remember, he wasn't human to begin with.
I do not care.
Yeah.
Human's the only thing that makes you, compassionate or not do illogical, crazy things.
I mean, if I had the power of over 1,000 demons and Ifrit in my body, I'd be like, I'm gonna plant myself in the middle of the and the shit.
I'm still gonna sneak in and kill 3 people. That's what I'm gonna do. It's so much
Yeah.
simpler.
It is.
Like, I don't need to trick this one country into getting into a war with another country so I can take over the other country, so that I can betray the person I'm with, so that I can do... No! Just kill the 3 people. Actually, by the time of the game...
I'm real
No.
mad at Skip.
He
Someone
didn't
burned
wanna kill
down
him.
the grocery store.
He didn't want to kill him. That's the thing about Final Fantasy 15. Here's the kicker. He didn't want to kill him. He wanted to be killed. But the problem was, in order to do that, he had to kickstart... Here's where Squeenix goes way off the rails. He needed to kickstart the prophecy about a king who's like the ultimate, like, king of light, and then that kills him.
I hate that story even more. I hate antagonists. And I got to actually close the door because my sister's probably gonna scream at me. I hate this. Oh my god, nobody can kill me. Oh, woe is me. Screw you, buddy. Screw you up the fudging butt, because it's still a PG-13 stream. No, screw you and your. I have to create a world war because I can't die. Like, no, steal a nuke yourself, and leave the rest of us out of it.
Do the magical equivalent of pretty much go find Bahamut, tell Bahamut that you need to die, and then let him kill you. It's that simple.
Like, I'm sorry, I
Some life advice from
Wait. In order to kill Arden, because he had all this energy of 1,000 years of demonic energy, like, it wasn't that simple. The King of Light had to absorb the power of his ancestors, which is totally separate from the 6 deities that he had to absorb and control, and then he had to go kill Arden with all that energy, and in the process, sack himself.
Like, here's a question. Is Arden in any particular pain?
Yeah, he can't go into the
No,
afterlife. He's
not...
in perpetual suffering, apparently.
It didn't look like it from what I saw of him.
He's
Well,
an
maybe-
enemy suffering.
He's in, I don't know what he's in. He says he's suffering, I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy.
Because the thing, he says he's suffering, and yet he's prancing around like a giant twat waffle, and I'm like, screw you. I will never understand the I'm too powerful to die cliche. Also, I'm sorry, and this is where I get a little bit sort of like political. What does it say about your worldview that you think that you've done everything that there is to do in the world? Like, have you ever noticed that with like immortals and all that stuff? Where they've quote unquote done everything there is to do in the world, but yet like they've never been to Africa and tried out I forget what it's called in Ethiopia, the food that they have there.
Oh shoot.
Oh no, injera. They've never tried injera. or they've never been to India and tried out spicy food. Like, it's implied that, like, their idea of having done everything is limited to whatever the author's done in their home, in either their hometown or wherever it is that they live currently. Because, like, the world is not so small that you could ever do everything there is to do in a single lifetime. Like, I'm sorry, screw you.
I don't think that was Arden's case. I think Arden's case was...
Oh no, I'm just arguing the plot point in general. Whenever when
they do that about, like, Immortals, like,
I've seen and done everything.
The world changes every few hundred years. No, you haven't.
Alternately, there's usually...
TV show you haven't watched. Calm your Hakuna Tatas.
Alternately, there's something really small, like Jurassic said, like a TV show. Like here's, like, for a personal example, like, not that I'm immortal or anything, but, like, I was just like, when I was a kid, you know what would be cool? If I had Super Mario World in the palm of my hand. And, like, if I was an old man and, like, Super Mario World was my favorite video game, you better believe I'm sticking around long enough to appreciate that. And I just found out, like, last week that Super Mario World is on the 3DS eStore for the new 3DSs. I did not know that.
Renelier says KMS power went out. Oh. That sucks.
That is no bueno. Well, good luck with that, Renelier.
Please come back soon.
Or alternately, like, do you not care about world peace? Is that not a challenge worthy of your time?
Well, then going on that note, here's the other thing. Whenever you have has been around for a long time, here's the two paths they take. They either make them, like, passive, like, figures in society where they just live life by, or make them, like, megalomaniacs where, like, I'm gonna remake the world because I'm bored. I'm like, what about the ultimate good guy on the other end of that spectrum?
Or alternately, like, somebody who's been passive is just like, I've seen human suffering and I couldn't do anything about it. Screw you, buddy. It's like it's like that one tweet that went out today, either today or a few days ago, where that dude's just like, remember when America did internment camps? Neither did I. That's thanks to the Second Amendment. And it's like, oh,
is he high?
Yeah. It's like, you don't remember the Japanese internment camps or the plantations and slavery? Like, it's just, like, when it comes to, like, having immortal characters, it's just this weird myopia of, oh, well, yeah, I've done everything from the perspective of the dominant culture in the world. It's like, then you haven't lived. I'm sorry. Oh, that's mean to say.
Had to go. Yeah, Renelli had to go buy a new fuse. Okay. Well, glad you're back, Renelli.
So it's always...
No.
So, yeah.
I hate, like, that's the one thing that always bugged me, like, whenever they try to make a villain, or even sometimes even the good guy / or anti-hero, who has, we've seen it all. It's like, no, like, you were created from the viewpoint of someone who also has a limited viewpoint. I don't know how that's possible.
But, well, it's because, again, there's a sort of weird myopia in fiction writing with the author who, like, kept politics out of their life and out of their art. So suddenly it's like, it becomes a sort of thing of, oh, well, I guess this is how the world is. And it's like, well, yeah, because you never have to experience the downsides of it. Which isn't fair, but that's how it is. It's like when you ask, like, an African-American person, yo, if you had a time machine, where would you go? The future. Isn't there anywhere in the past you'd want to visit? What makes you think I'd want to visit the past? Well, there's all this cool stuff. Where do you think my people sit in that past? Oh.
Ding 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 ding.
Like, yes, I'm not gonna go step out of my time machine just so I can get shot. Thank you very much. Or have, you know, have the dominant population steal my time machine and confiscate it from me, because there's no way a black man can own a time machine or a cell phone or a Nintendo Switch.
Or the first off, if you went back as far as I think you're going back, I don't think they would know what that crap is. They'd be like, witchcraft! Burn them at the stake.
Well, heck, even if I went back like 20 years and I said, hey, guess what? This is the future of computers. Or if I showed them my comic 20 years ago, they'd be like, oh, cool, who drew this? I did. Nah. Yeah. Nah. Yeah. It wouldn't even be an issue of, you look too young. I'm like, No, man, no black person made this. Yes, I did. Here's the video of me literally doing just that. You can record video of you doing that? Yes.
How did you record Photoshop?
Well, we laugh, but 20 years ago there wasn't live streaming, so yeah, it just there's a lot of myopia in fiction writing. Like, that's kind of why I'm glad for Black Panther, and they're basically saying, oh, by the way, the science center of the world isn't in New York, it's in Wakanda. Like, honestly, if Robert Downey Jr. decides to retire now, it's been a week, guys. You've seen the memes about her, so I'm going to talk openly about Shuri. If Robert Downey Jr. retires from being from playing Tony Stark, like Tony dies in Infinity War, what have you, Shuri would be the best person to be Iron Man.
I'm going to enter the territory where we do that passing of the mantle nonsense the comics are so fond of.
Well, and normally it wouldn't be a big deal. Normally, like in comics, I'd say no, don't do it. In terms of the movies, she's in the perfect spot to be Iron Man or Iron Woman or whatever she wants to call herself. That's not Ironheart.
New character.
Well, because let's face it, like if she stays in Wakanda, she can't really become the main character. Or she could have a base in Wakanda. But she could act globally in ways that T'Challa can't.
Right.
Because the thing is, as excited as I am about like Black Panther 2, it would sort of stretch suspension of disbelief if T'Challa is running around the entire world while he's supposed to be king. That's something I could never really square away with Black Panther.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how is he gonna run a country when he...
Like in the Avengers, like in the comics, he's basically 50-50ing his time with the Avengers and Wakanda. And they do always, like, they always make a point of saying that this is stressing his relationship with his people. And it's like, how can you be our king if you're busy running around being a superhero? So I don't know what they're going to do for Black Panther 2, but I would kind of hope that they're not going to have him like running around the world willy-nilly.
Right.
Whereas Shuri can afford to do that, and they actually set up her being able to start doing that in at the end of Black Panther. Like, I'm not gonna say how or why because that's its own brand of spoilers. But like she's in a spot where normally I'm with Drastic on this, where I'm like, don't make her the
do something new. We're ready for that. The comic audience isn't, we are.
But like with her, she's in the spot where, and the movies are in the spot where you can do that. Like she's established enough as a character that you're not gonna expect her to be the same sort of Iron Man as RDJ. But like if she stays in,
I don't feel like she needs to be an Iron Man at all.
Yeah.
That's what it would be. She would be Iron Man.
Which
like, new things.
She would like totally scoff at the suit and just be like,
just make your own thing. It doesn't have to look like Iron Man. It doesn't have to be like, look, this is something you recognize. Spend money, please. It can be its own thing. She can be her own character. We don't have to stretch, have people climb into the corpse of things that are dead just to keep them going.
I agree with that. Just for Shuri, I don't see that. Like, I would love to see her do her own thing, but I also see her character path as something that was like, she's helping out with Wakanda, but then it's like, okay, well, yeah, but she's always going to be in the shadow of her brother.
Right.
Well, how does that equate to her needing to be a new Iron Man?
If she's doing it out of Oakland, California, and taking on global threats, I'm down with that.
It's still stupid. I mean, she can be her own character and do that. I mean, some people can't digest new things very easily, and they need it to be simple to understand, simple things that they've seen before. But I feel like that's something you have to do, especially with the movie audience who's not.
Well, that's the thing is that
tied to the source material.
Well, and that's where I would say I would go in the opposite direction. I would go in the same direction, but actually even further. I wouldn't say some people. I would say most people can't handle that. To say nothing of the fact that, like, within the comics, like, the Shuri of the comics is hard to digest even if you're into comics themselves. Like, the Shuri of the comics...
fans are much more permissive of that rehashing old...
Oh, no, she doesn't... She,
over and
like,
over and over.
Well, no, that's the thing is that, like, in the comics, like, yeah, she starts off as Black Panther number 3. But she also develops this sort of mystic, this mystic persona, which is more about the magic and stuff and all that jazz. Sort of like a Doctor Strange for Wakanda. But not actually Doctor Strange and not... Like, I'm selling the new version of her very short by describing her as such. But that's not digestible for the movie audience.
What?
Hmm?
I thought you were just going to tell me, like, yeah, she became Doctor Strange.
No. No, she did not become Doctor Strange.
On to keep the book called Doctor Strange. Now she's Doctor Strange.
No. No, but the thing is that the version of her that's currently running around in the comics is convoluted even for comics. And going back off the whole...
pretty convoluted then.
Hmm? It's...
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna pop out and come back. My mic's acting really weird.
I don't think it's you guys. I think it might be... Well, is everybody's mic being weird? Hello?
That's not me. Okay. Hello.
Okay, I was like, you're breaking up in my mic. That's why I thought it was me.
Yeah, all of you guys are sounding like nobody.
Hmm?
But you're good now.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So, like, they...
Skip, you're doing it.
Huh? No, I just blew a raspberry. That's what I...
Breaking up bad.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Let me drop out and drop back in.
Okay.
Hello!
Yay.
Okay, cool.
Bonjour!
Salud, mes amis.
Yay, you did it.
So, like, I don't know. With Shuri, it's one of those few things where... Because I do feel where you're coming from. In that she doesn't need to be Iron Man to stand out. But I feel like
it was just lazy to just go on.
But if they were going to do something with her, that's probably the well, no, I can't say that that's the direction that they would take, because Coogler kind of blew the lid on Wakanda at the end of Black Panther, so they might do something different. But I don't know. I feel like if she's going to do something different, and it doesn't necessarily need to be Iron Man, it needs to be away from her brother.
Yeah, that's fine. Just they still need to glue another person's persona on her.
But the flip to that, though,
she's Batman. Why? Because she worked with Batman one time, and we need to sell these books.
But the flip to that, though, is that I do understand the thing. Like with audiences, they do glue the characters onto other legacies for a reason. Like that's
recognizability, less thought required. It's called Thor. Buy it. But this character's not Thor. Yeah, if you're gonna buy it, it's a Thor comic, and you're a Thor enthusiast or you're a Hulk enthusiast.
Well, it's not just that, but it's also the whole, like when we say let's make something new, and then they make a character whose power is manipulating gravity, and they call him Gravity, and it's a pretty cool power, and nobody buys the book, and they're like,
it's too new for that audience.
It's not just new for that audience; it's just new in general. Like they don't like to take risks because their audience doesn't like to take risks.
I find that at least in comics, it feels measurably different.
Well, it's not just comics though. It's a societal problem. We don't like to try new things.
New
I feel like for your general movie-going audience, them trying something new with her would go over better than just saying you're Iron Man now. It's like a very comic fan centric thing that you'll be expecting them to swallow.
Well,
like,
that's
like when I explain to anybody what the Iron Spider was at the end of Spider-Man, I explained the whole Iron Spider situation, and more often than not, they felt like it was ridiculous. Like it was Iron Spider, and I explained about the third arm and everything, and it was like, oh well, that just sounds ridiculous.
yeah, but that's because you're selling it as the Iron Spider. You're not selling it as, oh hey, you got a new suit.
Was it not called the Iron Spider?
Was it called the Iron Spider?
Yes, he was.
Huh.
I was asked for clarification on the new suit. I was like, well, in the comics they did this thing.
No, but I'm saying in the movies, is he called the Iron Spider?
I was explaining why the suit looked the way it did.
No, but I'm saying because I still haven't seen Homecoming. Is he actually referred to as the Iron Spider?
Not in the movie, no.
No.
So then they're not going to call it they're going to call it the Iron Spider for the people who need the absolute pedantic. Yes, this is how Leia was able to float back to the ship. In the movies, he just got a new suit. That's all it's going to be.
I agree. And the only reason I went into Iron Spider was I was asked like, well, what's that about? Okay, well, they did this in the comics, and was met with unanimous ears.
Yeah, but would they have said you if they didn't know about the comics?
If they went the Iron Spider route in the movies, I feel like yes.
Which
not just the suit looking shiny. That's not the issue. Like if Iron Man dies and he becomes the Iron Spider.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
That's when. So I'm against them doing that with Shuri as well. Like there would be a similar groan of oh, they're just going to do that.
Well, the issue there is that Iron Man by itself is a kind of dated concept. I think I was talking to Garfield Reyes about this. The nature of Iron Man is such that they haven't really figured out what to do with the character. You can't bring in his old foes because you can't just make nationality as villain a thing anymore. You can't the suits. You can't really upgrade them without turning him to a cyborg, which then he's not wearing a dude in a suit anymore. So I get where you're coming with in the idea of in terms of how high tech they are. The Black Panther suit is. The cat just locked himself in my room again. Well, he probably went to go get his dinner, and then the door's slightly closed because I can't have the door entirely closed because then the temperature shoots up. But no, that's somebody else's.
Oh. I was like, dude.
I get where you're coming from. That there doesn't need to be an Iron Man, and she doesn't need to be running around snarking at an AI in a suit that looks exactly like Tony Stark's suit. I get that, but
she doesn't need the mantle glued onto her at all.
But I also think that there's a very organic path for her to be able to actually take on that similar role for the Avengers. Even though she's not specifically called Iron Man or Iron Woman or Iron Heart or what have you.
She's the techie genius.
She can be that. They just don't have to glue Iron Man's mantle onto her.
I mean, we'll see come Infinity War, because I have a feeling that this is somebody's last movie.
Say somebody gonna die.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be fascinating to me, because I'm just like, how do they deal with that in a world where you've established that you can't just reboot it? And that's the other thing, is that it has to be a mantle passing. And again, not specific identities. I feel like and this is me speculating, which I normally hate doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Is that you have this sort of passing of roles. I think you see the last the death / retirement of Captain America and Iron Man, and everybody else has to sort of take up new roles to sort of fit their to sort of lead in their place. Although I don't know what they're gonna do with Doctor Strange because I don't really. It doesn't feel like they know what they have a clear path forward for him. Although they could do that one thing where like Mordo's trying to wipe out all of magic, so there's that.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that dude at the end of his movie. Well, they only also did only one Doctor Strange movie. Everyone else has like 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but you can tell that they're not in a rush to make any more though.
Yeah. I think they're like, we beat DC, we're done.
Oh no, they won't beat DC until Captain Marvel.
Lagging out.
Huh?
What?
Was lagging out into the ear. Oh, I can't follow what's being said.
Oh.
No, he was imitating us.
I know. I'm just surprised that he could.
Like what?
But
man of many talents.
Hmm.
Like I got, I think most of what you were saying, and it's be cool to see the character filling a similar role, not doing like they do in the books and just nailing something familiar to the new character's face.
But we're saying like how like with like Ant-Man and the Wasp was a thing, Spider-Man: Homecoming 2 or like whatever the next one is called, Graduation probably is a thing.
Spider-Man Coming of the Rhino. No, let's not do that.
Please don't do that. Captain Marvel is very definitely a thing. Doctor Strange 2. Yeah, we'll get back to you.
It's like we do whatever.
But I don't know. I feel like if Marvel wants to beat DC in the movies, Captain Marvel has to knock it out of the park. Like it can't just be all right. It's got to be good. Because that way DC can't say, well, at least we have Wonder Woman. We did that right. It's like, no, we also did that. We did it better than you.
Right.
And yeah, that's fine.
We did Bad Warrior Women's better than you.
Which is funny to me because it was just like that seems to be the thing this generation. Like because there was Furiosa, there was the Amazons from last year, and I feel like there's like a bunch of other characters like that where it's just like, oh, by the way, we're women and we're badass. On a slightly related note, what is it with Michael B. Jordan?
Ballet was too bad.
Sorry, that just kind of like, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought after that.
On that note, what is it with
Michael B. Jordan and burning things?
What happened?
We're tying some more tenuous threads together.
Well, like no, the new trailer for Fahrenheit 451 just landed. It's gonna be an HBO movie, and it's Michael B. Jordan and Michael Shannon. And at the end of the trailer, Michael B. Jordan, because like he's prancing around the entire thing with a flamethrower. And at the end of the trailer, he's just like, I want to burn. I'm like, you want to burn in this one? You want to burn it all in Black Panther? You played the Human Torch.
He was the Human Torch. I get it. They're totally the same movie. Oh god.
Well, no, it's just like it's a. I'm not trying to make a universe connection thing. I just find it funny that it's like that he's all about burning things now.
Happy burn it to the ground.
Fry Guy writes hi. All right, I gotta let the cat out before he poops on it. Hi, stupid cat. Go. I gave you food. Do the thing. So yeah, I just found it funny that he's just like he's burning things. He's all about the burning things now. But I also love like in order of importance, like him and then Dane DeHaan were the main dudes to turn a career out of Chronicle. Like the main dude in Chronicle, has he done anything since then? Or rather anything of really crazy importance?
I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Like, Dane DeHaan, like, because Dane DeHaan plays the villain in Chronicle. Like, the kid who goes crazy and then murders his friends and then, rather, gets Michael B. Jordan killed and then goes on to fight the final dude in the final fight. Meanwhile, Michael B. Jordan is gets killed. Like, I think partway through the movie. So I just find it hilarious that, Doombot writes Fan Forstick didn't happen. There was never a movie in which Michael B. Jordan was the Human Torch.
He is correct. I don't recall seeing any movie called Fan Forstick. That title doesn't even make sense.
Well, to be fair, when you're written by Max Landis, you kind of have to have some sort of pseudo-pretentiousness going on. Meanwhile, Fry Guy wants to know who's in the Discord. So, roll call. It's your boss, SkipperWing.
Jiggy Art.
The man in 5 grams with the gat in the hand, dressed action.
Whimsy Kaya Arts.
Yep, and
We are family.
I was gonna say we're SkipperWing and the co-host crew, but yeah, that works too. Even though that title doesn't make sense if you're watching this from Jiggy Art's stream.
Yeah. He's in tight. Whew.
Don't die.
I was gonna say, someone's getting that cold that's been going around. God.
Do not let.
Meanwhile, Fry writes Whims, Jiggy, and Drastic. Also, hi Jiggy, hi Drastic, hi Whimsy. I love how I don't get a
Hey,
hi.
Fry.
Hi, friend.
I love how my hi just comes by extension of being part of coming with the stream. It's like I don't get a hi. It's just like, hey.
Hey, you're here too. How about that?
That's nice.
Although it's funny because like with the Tim Story Fantastic Four, I feel like they got like 2 characters right and then they kind of screwed everybody else. Like Chris Evans was amazing as the Human Torch, and Michael Chiklis was a really good thing. Jessica Alba just kind of can't act. And by just kind of, I mean she can't act.
Let's just gluing all of that, those heavily Caucasoid features onto a woman who's clearly
Latina.
several different minorities. It's like when they went the extra step with
The blonde hair.
blonde hair and the blue contacts, she just looks so weird.
I didn't even watch it. Was it that fake looking?
It looks so fake. I mean,
It's-
Fan Force to get worse, but
That's bad. That's really bad.
Well, also like Jessica Alba keeps trying, and she's not convincing as the character that she's supposed to be. Like it's not even that the character, like the role of the character, like what the backstory is versus how she plays it. It's just like she's just not convincing that she wants to be in the movie. And then Ioan Gruffith has no idea what to do with Reed Richards, and the script has no idea what to do with him either.
We don't know what to do with this man. Whose man is this?
The
Whose
main characters.
man?
That's the problem, is that he's ostensibly the main character.
Right. And it's like, we don't know what to do with this dude. He's your main character. What do you mean you don't know what to do with this dude?
whose man's is this?
Meanwhile,
Woman.
as I say, meanwhile, Julian McMahon plays a great villain, just not Doctor Doom. Ooh, Mega Man X Storm Eagle. Ooh, I'm excited.
Oh, Skip, I meant to ask, how's Bayonetta?
It's... Whoa, I thought you said... Oh, okay, no, he put on, Oh, dang, I didn't know they made a metal cover of the Sand theme.
I want to be a part of Roll Call. Renelier is part of Roll Call, officially.
Woo!
Renelier is cool. Renelier is in the Roll Call. Roll Call!
So, Jiggy, you were asking what I think of Bayonetta.
Yes.
I like it, but there's a few holes in it.
A few?
Oh, Jesus, Joseph Mary.
Where to
I
begin?
think I need to hop off the Discord for a minute for this discussion.
I love how you guys are so prudish about people's nipples, and yet, like, accidental innuendos, you gotta have them. But,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Womp womp.
But
No,
I
'cause
mean,
I played.
those-
No, the only reason I asked was I played the original Bayonettas on, well, the first one at the very least on PlayStation.
I'm just confused.
And
about
I enjoyed the fighting.
innuendos part because, like, I made no such thing. I said I was gonna leave because I generally feel like the game is some dumpster juice with.
But yeah.
I made a sexual joke.
Oh no, the thing about the holes. Anyway, but like with Bayonetta, like there's a few things where I'm just like, why is that a game choice? Like for example, I love the combat, but I'm also kind of frustrated that the camera can't really seem to keep up. So there's like you'll be in the middle of a combo, and then some dude will just sneak up behind you because you can't see them, and will just like ruin your combo. And I'm like, where did you come from, and why doesn't the camera keep an eye on you? For like, especially it's worse with characters with enemies whose sole job is to sort of not warp around you, but like fly around you. I'm like, you can't have this guy flying around me and then swoop out of nowhere. Like, screw you. How am I supposed to keep up with like, if he's flying off camera, how am I supposed to know when to dodge him?
Right.
Then there's this.
I was gonna say, because I just remember playing it, and there were some parts I was like, yeah, that didn't just happen.
Meanwhile,
Last time, my next man.
oh no, Fry Guy is livening up the Discord with song requests. No, these are good song requests. You can't hear them because
I can't hear it. I was gonna say we can't hear it, so.
But they're really cool.
Okay.
Like I
mean, I'll take your word for it.
Like I didn't think somebody could make a metal cover of the Sand Kingdom from Super Mario Odyssey sound cool, but here we are. We're listening to it. But like there's that, and then there's also the other issue of like I'll be in the cutscene, and then at the end of the cutscene ends with like a villain charging towards the camera or charging towards Bayonetta, and then the fight starts with them charging towards the camera. I'm like, whoa!
Oh yeah, those are always fun.
Why would you do that? And this is like worse when I've skipped the cutscene because I've seen it before.
Right.
Like I've seen it, but I'm not ready to get ready for the fighting yet. Like that's not how you start a level after you've done a cutscene.
Dude, sometimes the game honestly has the game I remember now. Like I'm getting bits and pieces. I haven't played in a long time, but sometimes the game had no chill, and I was like, "Holy crap, what am I doing?"
That's like not even not having chill. That's just being petty.
Mhm.
Like, why would you not tell somebody that, or not tell somebody, why would you not start the fight from a neutral stance? It's like, oh, by the way, I hope you, if you've been playing and you've been playing pure platinum and not getting hit by anything, I hope you're ready to lose that combo.
It's like, lol.
It's like, well, screw you, game.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, sorry.
The other thing is that, like, this is more of a problem for me personally rather than the problem with the game, because the game wasn't intended to be played portably, but it kind of shows in the length of the levels.
Yeah.
Like there are half-hour slogs and like 20-minute slogs, or rather 40-minute slogs. If you die once, like if you die once, and you're gonna die a lot.
Yeah.
You spent an hour on the stage. And, like, I was telling Fry about this. Like, for me, that ruins my flow because I don't have the time to be playing for hours at a time trying to get this perfect combo. And, yeah, sleep mode helps mitigate that. Sleep mode and being able to just pause it and what have you and coming back to it. But it ruins the flow and the mood that I was in when I was playing the game. So, usually when I come back, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm ready to build up my flow again. Wait, I have to start from 100 or at 11? No, I'm not gonna do that. And again, this isn't the game's fault because the game was meant to be played on console, sitting for hours at a time in play sessions, not in metro bursts.
Right.
Like I can play Celeste or Mario Odyssey or even Breath of the Wild in bursts because that's how they're meant to be played. Like Celeste, you clear a few rooms and then you stop playing for a little bit.
Right.
Mario Odyssey, you get a few sparkle bananas and then you stop playing. But with Bayonetta, it's like, no, you have to have an hour dedicated to playing this game if you want to get anywhere.
Yeah, I not gonna lie, I definitely rage quitted a few times because I was like, I would get somewhere and I'm like, and this is on console by the way, so don't feel like it didn't happen on console. Like, I was like, F it, like I'll come back to this later when I don't want to throw my controller through the TV and break something else.
Like, it was a problem I had with Metal Gear Solid 3 on PS Vita. So like I'd play it and then I'd get to a cutscene. I'm like, why is this cutscene still going?
Right.
Like, it's still going. I have things to do. Why is it still going on? And it's like, oh, because this was made for the PS2, not for the Vita.
Right.
Ooh, I'm gonna steal this song. Steal. Fry Rights. It sounds like you guys suck at Bayonetta. Just kidding. It's pretty infuriating at times. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I am actually. It's one of those games where I have fun, but I am not good at Bayonetta. Like, I'm always, because in my head I'm always trying to remember combos as they're happening, and I'm trying to style while not actually having a fluid understanding of the controls. Like Bayonetta, the reason, like, I'm not good at Bayonetta for the same reason I'm not good at fighting games, or at least I'm not good at traditional fighting games. There's a demand of memorization with spontaneous action at the same time, and that's just not a good mix for me personally. But I do like it, and I want to get good at it. But that's just me. And Fry Rights, I'm not good at remembering combos. And that's the other problem, is that, like, you can't spam the same combos as you go. Like, the game remembers, hey, so you're using that combo a lot, we're gonna dock your points for that.
Yeah, that was probably the one thing that ticked me off, because it's like, it forces you to change up what you do, and I was like, but if it ain't broke, why would I have to fix it?
Well, I get it, because like as somebody who sometimes watches combo videos for Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, there's sometimes somebody will do a video where it's the same 3 combos just in a different room.
Right.
And it's like back to back, and I'm like, I get it. You're good at this one combo. You suck at video editing because you didn't realize how boring this was gonna be. Like, you're so up your own butt watching this combo or performing this combo that you didn't see how boring it was gonna be when you edited it as a video.
Right.
So I get why the game wants you to sort of vary it up and learn more about it, but it's just, and the thing is that I'm looking forward to seeing if it gets fixed in Bayonetta 2, because right now I'm just playing them in order.
Okay. Yeah, I may or may not have played the second one. I probably didn't.
Do you have a Wii U?
No, I do not. I
Then
have a PlayStation 2,
you didn't play the second one. I say that because it was a Wii U exclusive.
Interesting.
Like, there's a video I shared, I think, I'll have to reshare it again. But it was a video, Bayonetta is basically the example of what I like to talk about when I say consumers need to educate themselves. Like, it didn't make enough money to justify a sequel.
Yeah, I think we discussed this one time too, because I was like, they made a sequel, I was like, I don't remember it being on the PlayStation, and like, I think I did actually say, like, I don't think it did well enough for a sequel, but it did, but as you pointed out, it wasn't good enough to go on a main console, it went on a Wii.
And so...
Well, Wii as a console, but like, they were like, now we're not going to try to target that audience again.
Well, no, that was Mad World that did that. Bayonetta was on the Wii U. Because the Wii U was trying to shed its, like, we're only for grandmas and babies image.
We're only for grandmas and babies.
Well, that was the Wii's
I know. I just find that funny.
Like, that attitude allowed them to win the console wars, but that was also, or rather allowed them to win that console war, but it was also the sort of like, it turned them off to their, oh god, the person is telling me their updates.
Hmm? Oh god.
Well, no, like the video is a minute and a half long.
My husband, I just heard him scream from across the room, through my door.
So apparently, the song is a minute and a half long. His updates are 4 minutes long. So we're gonna skip his update.
Oh god.
Fry writes, the complexity of the combos is difficult to master. I do love Witch Time though. Me too. Like I love
Witch Time's really cool.
Like I love Witch Time as a concept too. But like it didn't make enough money for them to justify making a sequel, so they it made enough money for them to start working on a sequel. They ran out of money halfway through, and then Nintendo had to step in to foot the bill.
Yeah, they probably weren't too happy about that.
Well, that's why it's the exclusivity. But I'm totally down with. That's why I'm totally down with buying Bayonetta and not really wait, because I had enough fun with 1 and 2, or rather, I had enough fun with 1 to justify 2, and I want them to see Platinum make a 3.
Mhm.
So, as promised, I'm going to show you guys Luigi's balloon world. And hopefully, I wonder if Fry Guy put any balloons on. So, that's it for this not for this video, but that's it for this part of the stream. So, let's change it. We're going to relabel this.
I think my computer broke because I'm trying to like color in something. I was like, oh, there's no color going on the canvas. Well.
Speaking of which, I need to save real quick. So I'm gonna play for the next 15 minutes. Let's go to Super Mario Odyssey. Okay. Let's change the. That's probably the one thing I do love about Streamlabs OBS. Let's see. Is that unless you sort of change it on the wow, Luigi's Balloon World? No, don't go back to sleep. That's dumb.
Alright, I'm gonna open and close Clip Studio Paint real quick. I don't know why it's not putting color down. It's weird. It's acting weird.
So let's go to. We're gonna call this.
We're gonna call this
Luigi's Balloon Odyssey.
Close that. Discard.
Alright, so. No, I don't want to do that. Different balloon. So let's come back out. Hello.
Hello.
Ooh.
Oh, it's Doombot. Hey, Doombot. Welcome to Skip Stream. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, Doombot.
So,
are you on mute?
Probably.
So, this is Luigi's balloon. This is the Luigi. He's your brother. He's wearing a bow tie. That's how you know that they're brothers. So he's running a game in the world called Luigi's Balloon World, wherein basically everybody gets to. Oh, you get coins by going to the Seaside Kingdom. Let me go do that. Sorry, I didn't see the notification.
I was gonna say you got sunshine coins. It's always the shiny, always.
So let's dress appropriately for the Seaside Kingdom.
Also, hello everybody. Sorry I was silent. I was on push to talk for some reason.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You have permission to not do that. So as you can see, Mario has no chest hair.
Oh god.
So we're gonna go to this Seaside Kingdom.
We're playing Mario Odyssey now.
Yep.
How's it like genetically possible? With that much mustache hair, he should have chest hair.
Well, to be fair, he was delivered by Stork.
That is true.
This conversation has come back.
Sorry, Jurassic.
Come back close.
I have normal conversations with friends in LA. Mario is the pair.
Well, to be fair, like it is a costume for this game.
I was gonna say.
It's weird seeing you guys like 3 seconds behind.
We get to do it because it's in the game. That's such a weird, so weird POV.
Well, I'm also at the beach. Why would I not?
Permission. The game's giving us permission.
Well, I mean, I'm going to the beach. Why would I wear a t-shirt at the beach?
Because you're fat.
I got nothing. I didn't say that. He did.
I'll say, I don't know. I've never been fat, so I can't really speak to that. So let's go find Luigi.
As a fat person, that is our beach uniform.
So, bro, you startled me. That outfit's kind of, how can I put this? I mean, it looks good on you. It looks good, but, yeah. So apparently, Luigi has the same issue with Mario's nipples as Drastic does.
I don't have an issue with Mario. I have an issue with this is such a prominent thing that adults are speaking about.
Okay.
But yeah, let's talk more about Mario and Batman. Like, okay.
He's in the shorts, man.
This is great. This is great.
So anyway, apparently we came at the perfect time. Running a special here in Seaside Kingdom. You'll get more coins for playing here. You want to connect to the network and play Balloon World? I think I will.
Balloon World, Balloon World.
So, we're going to start with Hide It first. Actually, no, we're going to start with... So, let's move to the starting spot. So, where's the starting spot? Oh, this is the starting spot. Alright, go and hide your balloon, bro. The timer starts when you leave this area. Alright. So, I'm not actually going to leave the area. I'm going to plot out where exactly I want to put the balloon first. I have a pretty good idea, so... So now I have 30 seconds to, hide this balloon somewhere. So, Cheep Cheep, your body's mine.
He's gonna find it? That's the only thing.
Well, my goal isn't to find it. My goal is to hide it in a place where somebody else can't find it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So, we're going to go in here. And hopefully nobody's put it here. So, gonna drop it here. Fry, don't you dare go looking for my balloons. Since Fry owning the game knows where I put it now. So, now we get to go find other people's balloons.
I was gonna say Fry has insider knowledge. Fry has insider knowledge.
So, now I have to go find it. And we're gonna get some coins for... So my problem is that usually when I play this game... Oh, crap. Is that usually it takes me a few tries to find it.
Uh-huh.
See, yeah. I'm not gonna find it in time.
Oh boy. It's not good.
No, I only lose 10 coins. It's not a big deal. So now I have to look around. I was probably nowhere close. But again, like, you see how I have like 9,000 coins?
Right.
That's from playing Balloon World. So 10 coins is not that big of a deal. I actually forget who SNES Dude is, because I know them. Alright, so... Says I'm close. Where is it?
Freaking 100, who cares?
Okay, so I'm on top of it. Where the heck is this daggone balloon? 7 meters. Where is this balloon?
You're close. You're so close. Yet you're so far.
Well, I will concede this one to whoever SNES Dude is. Cause, God, that's annoying. So we're gonna look for a different balloon.
Right.
Ooh, Jay Nelson.
On that note, I'm gonna cut off stream because I've been streaming for 2 hours. That's my thing because I have to get up at the butt crack of dawn. I'll still stay on talk because I gotta do post stuff, but yeah. almost done. Almost done. But I need like another hour or two, and I can. So, anywho, if you guys want to shout out yourselves on my stream real quick before we do this.
Sorry, I just can't pay attention right now. Oh crap, I ran out of water!
Okay, so that's SkipperWing yelling in the background, playing Mario. So if you guys want to like go to his stuff, twitch.tv/SkipperWing, facebook.com/SkipperWing, SkipperWing, drastic.
Oh yes, I am the man of the hour, the man of the power, too hot to handle, too cold to hold, freak out, Find out what Drastic Action is all about. Drastic Creative on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter machine, Drastic Action X on Twitch. If you love it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell an enemy.
Do you just like have that on a cue card somewhere?
No.
No. I watch a lot of wrestling, man. I'm a promo machine
king.
at this point.
I was gonna say promo king. Alright, Whimsy.
Alright, I am Whimsy Kaya Arts. I do the Whimsy.
No, I ran out of water again. Ah.
Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. So
Sweet.
follow me.
Follow all the things. Doombot, are you still here?
Let me tell you something, brother. Doombot KV, Doombotics. I'm in a bunch of different places. Most of them are not good, so I'm about to play the witness on stream. So that's something.
Noise.
Alright, what's your stream URL?
That's a good question. A question I ask myself a little too often. It's Doombot KV.
Doombot KV, so twitch.tv/DoombotKV. Wah wah. Alright, Jiggy Pops, I shall see you guys Thursday, where it's... I was supposed to do a game stream tonight, but I was like, no, we need to do our stream, so I'll do our stream Thursday night. And Friday, if I can get hubby in on it, we will do a marathon gaming stream, because he finally got Monster Hunter, and I have Monster Hunter, and it's online, and we get to hunt big stuff. So, until then, peace!
Deuces wild.
Ah, crap, I ran out of water again. No, stay away from me, Goombas!
I totally left it on until he said that.
I literally thought he was like, he needed a drink for his stream. He's like, oh crap, I'm out of water again!
Oh my god.
Just go to the kitchen and get some more, Skip.
Yeah, no, I'm just not good at this world. That's kind of irritating. So we're gonna go to someplace else where I don't suck at this game. And oh hey, somebody look for that coin I just the balloon I just hid. So we're gonna quit Balloon World and we're gonna go to Balloon World in a different place. Hopefully one where I can put on clothes.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Waha!
Yep! Skippy! Whoopity-doo!
Yeah, because I'm just not good at this world, and as much as I'd love to burn coins not being good at this world, I'm gonna go someplace where I am pretty somewhat decent.
Let's sail!
Also, I'm Waffle.
Sail for somewhere easier.
I'm Waffle Cat Buddy's writes, hello. Hey, Waffle
Hello.
Cat Buddy. How goes it? Welcome to the last 5 minutes of the skip stream. So hopefully I'm gonna find an easy-ish world to do because I have to kind of cut it quits after the stream anyway. I mean, after this one anyway.
So,
Seriously.
Mostly because I usually have to go to bed around this time.
Yeah.
And now Jiggy, I'm not Jiggy, Whimsy.
Oh snap. That's like when you try to call your kids and you call your kid by the wrong name, like the name of the other kid.
I'm gonna pop off.
Alright, Whimsy.
Alright, later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Meanwhile, Waffle Cat Buddy
I have
writes,
started streaming, so if you hear me scream or something, it's because something non-scary has terrified me.
noted.
New Todd. Oh wow, I came at the right time.
I've been trying very hard not to react and emote with all of the madness that I've been going through for the last 2 hours.
I actually can't hear you stifling your anger towards teammates.
Oh my god.
That's where you put it? Really? That's easy.
Yeah, you put it over there.
Good.
Oh, well,
at least you got it.
You'll see that. You guys will see it in a hot minute. So that's why I only got 73 coins.
All I see is a large German man's hammer.
All right. Let's see. Let's try for something slightly harder. I'm probably not gonna be able to find it, but we'll try.
Jigs, I was trying so hard not to like scream. So I'm playing Mystery Heroes because that's the only good thing in the arcade right now.
Oh god.
Enemy teams pulls like 2 Bastions, 2 Mercies.
And a partridge in a pear tree. I mean,
Like 2 Bastions, 2 Mercies, and a Orisa. Like Orisa's not that bad, but like 2 Bastions and 2 Mercies to keep from dying. It was infuriating.
Wait,
What the-
2 bastions and 2 hell.
It was,
That's where you get 6. That's where you get 6 pharaohs, and you justice rain from above the hell out of every one of those.
but you,
Oh crap! I'm dead.
but you can't pick. You can't pick who you get.
Oh shit! That's right. It's Mystery Heroes. Damn.
That would have been the first thing I did was pick Farah and start just abusing Bastions from a distance. Like I kept drawing Zarya. Drew Zarya and I drew Reinhardt a couple of times. So I'm like, I can't be as versatile with these guys as chasing down these cheap turret things. Hey, Lucio, what time is it? Hammer time.
All right. Hopefully I'm heading in the right direction.
Sorry for the eventual Discord notification. We have
Whoa! Good news happened. Somebody tell me what happened. I can't see it.
What? We're lacking behind you, dude. How can we tell you what happened?
I don't know yet. All right. So there's.
Be able
Up
to tell
arrow
who-
will display when you stop moving.
Oh, I'm a Waffle Buddy. Cat Buddy has followed. Thanks, Waffle Cat Buddy. Which actually pushes us over 250, which means that we have met our February goal. Woo! Yes, thank you, Luigi.
Congratulations!
All right, so question: do we want to do the giveaway here and now, or do we want to wait until Wednesday's stream?
We can wait until Wednesday stream so you have time to set up.
All right.
You know how you can make this gives you time to make like fanfare and stuff about it and make it all like.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I'll do that then. Yeah. So thanks to I'm Waffle Cat Buddy. We have reached 250 followers on Twitch. Woo! This is not a dancing song, which sucks, but that's okay. Wow, this is not really a dancing song at all. Where's a good dancing song to end the stream with?
I don't know.
Let's just skip ahead and see what the next song is.
Could play Dancing Machine by Jackson 5. Or,
We're just gonna dance apocalyptic. So, anywho, yeah, that's it.
Man by KC and the Sunshine Band. That'd be a good.
Yeah, it's got to already be in my queue. So, anywho,
Booger Man.
Drastic, I gotta end my stream. So, yeah, we're gonna do our giveaway in the next stream, which is gonna be Wednesday,
February 28th.
Yes. So if you guys want to get in on the giveaway, please show up then. I can't just randomly pick from everybody. I have to pick from whoever's actually in the stream at the time. So Waffle Cat, I want to see you there. Jiggy, I want to see you there. Doombot, I want to see you there, even though you're actually streaming right now. Who's also still in?
For a second. But I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Rain Novel, best ever electrical skateboard. Please swing by the skip stream. That's where all the funness is going to be happening. So let's go to the end screen. So yeah, again, woo! We did it. We did 250, which means I have to set a goal for March, which is probably not feasible, but I can dream. I can dream.
500.
That's not happening. That's not happening at all.
Let's do that.
But yeah, next stream will be Wednesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you live in the U.S. I don't know what the rest of the times are for everyone else. I know that that's like 4 in the afternoon for anybody in California. Beyond that, I don't know. Sorry. So again,
midnight for the UK.
Yeah. Also, Rain, thank you for modding, because I know it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, I will see you guys then, and then we'll do the giveaway. Remember, one black and white sketch, and if you want to know what that looks like, Instagram. Check out my Instagram. You can get a pretty good idea of what I draw and how I draw. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next Skip stream, and I'll catch you later. Bye.
Peace.
Deuces.
Bye.